up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going? Peloton Warrior Shane.
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
Fella.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
3, 2, 1, go. Live, go. Now. Welcome to the show! Woo! Guys, welcome back to episode 1 of Wrestling on the Rocks. I am at Ref Marsh. We are WOTR the show. And who the hell is this? Back again.
It's
Kevlar's
me.
back. It's me. That's right. It's the other half of the fabled IIronics.
Oh.
Kevlar. Kevlar on the rocks.
With an X.
With an X. Dude, it's good to have you back. The original crew in tow. Is that what they say? Is that how they say it?
Something like that.
Kev, you've been off for a month, man. How you been?
Good.
Yeah, you fucking better say good.
Yeah, hanging in there. A lot better than AEW, all right?
Well, yeah, a little more explosive, I bet.
Yeah. Only when I go to Taco Bell.
What happened?
Well, it said online, and then when I switched back, it said sending data. And now it says online again.
Yeah, now it says online. So maybe you were reading the wrong one?
No, I wasn't. Because I was waiting for the picture. It was taking forever.
Well, I guess we'll find out. Anyways.
Welcome to episode 1.
Welcome to episode 1 again. Yeah, this is how we do it. Kev.
Thank you for
Like Montel Jordan.
Justin.
Justin's in?
Just in time.
Just in time. Just in time. Just in reality.
Wow.
Whoa, God.
Oh, yeah. Hell, yeah. Thank you for subscribing for 3 months. That is 3 months longer than Kevlar has. Episode 1. This is how we do it. Episode 1.
I like to subscribe to good shows.
That's a good point. You only subscribe to episode 2 and beyond.
Yeah.
You shot yourself in the foot on that one. I don't listen to premieres. Kev, what is going on? How you been? What are you drinking?
I am drinking some strawberry lemonade and some vodka.
Woo!
I call it balls juice.
Call it balls juice. That's right. What?
I don't want to know.
What? Oh, it's a delicacy. Delicatessen, as they say.
Yeah.
I'm having...
Lemons are like testicles, and you squeeze them for ball juice.
That's a good point. Get the seeds out. Kev,
Yeah.
I am having... What? I'm having Kraken with Evan Williams eggnog.
That's already spiked.
Release the Kraken.
It is already spiked.
That's already spiked.
It's already made with Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, blended whiskey, rum and brandy. So it has 4 types of whiskey in it already, and I'm adding a 5th because, man, it's Christmas all year round when it's episode 1.
It's like a stable in your glass.
It is, dude. It's like the 4 horsemen right here.
Yeah.
The 4 horsemen of eggnog. And that did not mix
Plus-
well. We will play this one slowly. Last week, you missed it, Kev. Producer tried to poison me to death with a 5-month-old bottle of open whiskey that had just gone bad and became soy sauce. And she's all like, yeah, chug it.
I did it. I didn't want you to have it.
That's what you gave me.
It's not.
Let's see if I can start with some of this. So that's what I'm having. If you guys are in the chat, that means you're on twitch.tv/wrestling on the rocks. You can also find us live on a few other platforms, YouTube, my personal Facebook, and Twitter as well. If you're in there, you can try to chat. Sometimes we see it, sometimes we don't. We can't figure this stuff out. It's pretty difficult stuff. It's technology. What are we going to do? But Twitch, we always see.
Yeah, we're very consistent with Twitch, so.
Very consistent with Twitch. So if you want to be part of the conversation, if you want to derail the show, twitch.tv/Wrestling on the Rocks. Kev?
Yes, sir.
What's up, man? I forgot to show you. I got to send you pictures. I bought a thing today that was pretty dope. I got a new little humidor thing.
Oh, nice.
So remind me later after we're both too drunk to remember. So, Kev, you want to talk news? You want to talk news a little bit?
Let's do it.
Real quick before we get into the news, because I'm glad you said that. I just want to let you know, Kev, I don't know if you know about this or not, but on Pie Day, that was March 14th, 3.14, we got ourselves some pie from banana cream pie from Black Bear Diner. They retweeted us and called us all out and said, these guys, Ref Marsh, Kevlar on the Rocks, Clump, and Producer Lady, know how to do Pie Day in style. We didn't even tag ourselves. They read our bio and said, let's fucking shout them out, dude. And they did it.
Nice.
Yeah, so now producer's trying to pull the sponsor, not sponsor, on Black Bear Diner. She's trying to get us a sponsorship there, because then we can stop talking about what's in our glass, and we'll start talking about what's pairing with your drink. And go, well, the drink, but the sweet potato fries. Let me tell you about those. You know what I mean?
What's on your plate?
Yeah, what's on your plate? So, just wanted to shout out Black Bear Diner one more time and let you know that that's what's happening.
Hell yeah.
All right, let's talk about a couple things. Let's talk about the news. Let's see. First and foremost, Batista. A lot of people were talking about it, that it was really bizarre that they were listing all the people from 2020 that they were going to have come back for this year's Hall of Fame so they could do two classes in one. And Batista's name was not there. And people were all like, what's going on? Well, today, Batista sent out a tweet, as it were, because that's how news works nowadays, apparently. He said to the @WWE Universe. He tagged the WWE Universe account. @WWE Universe is a Twitter account, so it's almost like they're the one, like we're all gonna actually get notified or something. You know what I mean? Like he tagged us all. It's so funny. He's like, the Universe is actually all the fans' Twitter account, right? It's all of them. So
yeah.
He said, to the WWE Universe, unfortunately, due to previous obligations, I am unable to be part of the WWE Hall of Fame this year. By my request, they have agreed to induct me at a future ceremony where I'll be able to properly thank the fans and people who made my career possible, and said #DreamChaser and did little prayer hands. So that's what's going on. That's why he was removed, is he asked them, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it, and it would really mean a lot to me if I could actually get up there and say some things that wasn't just a pre-recorded Zoom call or something. Can we do a different time? And they granted his request, as it were. What do you think?
They gave him what he wanted.
Give me what I want!
Finally.
Give me what I want! Yeah, yep. If anybody gets what they want, it's Batista.
It's
so
Batista, yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine if he's all like, "Hey guys, is there any way we could do it like a different year? I just can't make it." And you're like, "Well, Dave, here's the thing. He's like, give me what I want! Give me what I want!" It's like, Dave, what I'm trying to say is, give me what I want! Give me what I want! Just spitting everywhere.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. All right, what do you think? What do you think, Kev?
I mean, it's cool that, he wants to do it proper instead of, just like oh, thanks. Cool.
Yeah.
I did that. So.
I think it's cool. I think it's nice. I wonder if they're gonna add an extra person or just like let that be one less. I mean, they got a lot of people to squeeze in, so.
But I don't think you could add anyone to 2020.
No, but you can add an extra person to 2021. If you're like, hey, we got a free spot now. You know what I mean? You can just bulk up 2021 if you wanted. But I kind of hope they don't.
Yeah.
I hope they leave it as it is and just says, hey, that it is what it is. But yeah, congratulations to Batista for getting what you want. Get me what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Give me what I want. ProWrestlingTees.com/Wrestling on the Rocks for the Give Me What I Want t-shirts. If you don't believe me, go check. Check right now, I swear to God. Let's see. So a couple of things happened in the Flair household, beginning with Andrade. We talked about it before, was rumored to have asked for his release and was told no, denied request, unlike Batista. Well, apparently Andrade said, give me what I want! Give me what I want! And they gave him what he wants, and he was released. I said much like Batista.
Canned.
Oh, much
Yeah. So yeah, Andrade officially shit canned, as Kevlar so eloquently put it. He was given what he wanted, and now he is out of the WWE. They sent out their little, future endeavor. It is what it is. Peace out. See you down the road. Kind of a tweet. What do you think about the release of Andrade? There was a lot of uproar online. And we'll say this. I'll wrap this up in here too, because I think that you read something that you wanted to address too. So let's put it all together. So as long as we're talking, Andrade got released as requested. Also, Charlotte announced that she has COVID, and that's why she hasn't been on TV for a bit. But now there's a bunch of weird stuff going on with that too. So, Kev, what do you think?
When it comes to Andrade, like, they've been, not using him. He hasn't been on TV. I think we mentioned it in episode 1 that Zelina being released, kind of affected a lot of people. And Andrade was definitely one of them, if not the main one.
So let's talk about that real quick, because there's a lot of back and forth there. The idea that did Zelina leave actually affect people's careers or not? And I saw a tweet online where someone said, you guys can't keep saying Zelina affected Andrade's career or ruined his career. And they said because Zelina was trying to get the Raw Women's Championship before she even left, and Andrade was nowhere to be seen then too. And I was like, isn't that exactly the point? That if Zelina wasn't in the picture, they weren't using him? Like, the point is that he was anchored to Zelina, and when they had something else for Zelina that wasn't him, they had nothing for him. So if that's the act, that sounds like the point that people are trying to make, is that once she left, they had no way to know how to fill him in, because he was so anchored to the Zelina character. So much so that when she was doing something else solo, they had literally nothing for him to do either. So continue what you were saying as far as that goes.
Zelina left, and that was Andrade's mouthpiece.
Yep.
He had no one speaking for him, basically. So, of course, that affected him.
I think so. I do. Here's another thing I saw that was out there, and I thought it's worth talking about. People were saying you can't say Andrade is bad at promos just because English isn't his primary language. And I agree with the sentiment. But I think that when people are saying someone's bad at promos, I don't think they're saying that they struggle at talking so much so as they're not able to connect with the fans through their promos, right? And him being bilingual is simply a hurdle during that, right? It's still possible to do it, right? Look at Shinsuke. He does not have the most... Go ahead.
I was just going to say Shinsuke and Asuka are perfect examples of that, where, English is obviously not their first language or primary language, and the fans love them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's a difference between saying somebody's bad at a promo because they're not connecting with the fans, and somebody's not good at promos because of a language barrier. Because in this case, I don't think it was a language barrier thing.
Yeah, I don't think it helped him, but I don't think that was the sole thing. I think it was a hurdle he needed to get over, because I bet you that when he was back in AAA and ROH, I have a feeling that he had an easier time connecting with the fans because he was able to use his primary language. So like I said, I don't think that it's not a factor, but I don't think it's the only factor. And I think that, like you said, Kairi Sane, Asuka, Shinsuke, completely connecting with the fans, completely endeared to the fans. And they don't have impressive promos in that regard, as far as like they don't have long, eloquent dialogues and diatribes. They have short, to the point, careful, methodical promos that do just that connect to the fans. They do a really good job with that stuff. Look at Io Shirai.
Yeah.
She's arguably the most popular female talent in all of NXT right now. So I don't agree that the idea that someone says Andrade's bad at promos means they're saying that he doesn't speak English well enough. I don't agree with that at all. I don't think that's the sentiment or the tone. If that is the sentiment or the tone that someone was making, then they're just wrong to begin with. But I think that when we say things like he can't connect to the fans or his promos weren't up to snuff or however we want to say it, at no point is it in regards to his lack of ability to pronounce certain words certain ways. That's not at all what we're talking about. So if we do say that at any point during this, it has nothing to do with the idea of his ability to say a word without an accent or something. I'm saying his ability to connect. Because here's the other thing. This is my hot take. I talked about it the other day. I think it was episode 1. And I want to know what your take on it. With Andrade being let go, a lot of people are saying, oh, what a failure of WWE, what a horrible thing. Wherever he goes, he's going to be a huge success. And talking about this like it's this huge, massive loss. And in a regard, I understand where they're coming from. But on the topic of what we were just saying, if he's having a hard time connecting with the fans, because when he was in NXT, he did not connect with the fans outside of the bell-to-bell. I'll give you this. In-ring, fucking incredible.
Yes.
In ring, he can get you out of your seat. He can get you screaming. He can get you believing in a false finish. He can get you believing in the win. He can get you excited about the match that's happening in front of you right now. But he was never able to make you care if he won or lost long term, or made you care why he was going down to the ring to begin with. But once the bell rang, he had you hooked into the match. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So in that regard, yes, he's an incredible wrestler. And my big hot take is, so the fuck is everybody else, man. Sorry, but
I was gonna say I was gonna say the same. Where there's a lot of people that in the ring, they're talented, they're amazing. But if you don't connect to the fans, that's the number one thing. It's sports entertainment. And if they're not, connecting with the fans, then you can't sit there and say, hey, this is a huge loss. And like you said, Andrade's great. I liked him, obviously wish him the best down the road, wherever he goes.
Yeah.
But he just he just was missing something. And I don't know if a change of scenery will help with that or what, but he was, he was missing a spark or something. I don't,
Yeah. Oh, we lost video. If you want to come over and just unplug the camera and plug it back in, and you'll probably be all right. Because we still got the banner up, so. We're back, baby.
It's a dark match.
It was our own lights out match. So it's just episode 1. It's not a big deal, guys. Relax. Everybody relax. Calm down. Just episode 1. But I agree. He was missing that factor. He could not connect to the fans. And they tried a lot of things. Realistically, when he was in NXT, before he was paired up with Zelina, no one cared about his character. His character was getting sort of interesting as being a playboy that was like lazy in the ring and didn't care that he was losing. It had people like piqued interest of like, where's this going? But it was the introduction of the Zelina character, snapping him into shape and becoming his manager, and them going on that ride that people were invested in. And anytime Zelina was away from him, people were asking what Zelina's up to. They weren't asking what Andrade's up to. He had a tough time connecting with the fans. And I know I was talking to somebody who was talking about how they went to a local NXT show at some point, back when he was Manny, not even Andrade. And it was obviously before he'd even been on TV. And he'd said he had the crowd in the palm of their hands. And, and it was amazing. And everyone connected to him. And I said, was this between bells, perhaps? And he goes, yeah, in the match, he had everyone invested. I was like, yeah, I'm not talking about that. He's 100% capable of that. The question is he capable of making you care why the bell is even going to ring?
Yeah.
And that's how I feel. He wasn't able to connect.
Yeah. I mean, I was never interested in much of his, storylines and stuff like that. But like you said, bell to bell, I was watching. Cool. The dude's talented. Just missing the it factor, as they say.
Yeah. People even keep talking about his matches with Rey Mysterio. You're like, yes, I do remember how amazing those matches were. What were they about? What were they for? What did any of it matter? Where did it go from there? You know what I mean? Like, those matches were strictly set up to have Rey Mysterio wrestle with Andrade, and that's kind of it. There was no real story on why we just kept getting it. We just kept getting it, and we kept loving it. But if you can't connect with the fans, you can't make them care, then you can't. And like I said, I've said it 1,000 times. I've said it since episode 1, and I'll keep saying it all the way up until episode 1. I can get 5-star matches any day of the week. If you prescribe to the Meltzer star reviews anyways, according to him, we get multiple 5-star matches a week. All you got to do is watch AEW. So if AEW's putting on 5-star matches every night and I don't care about them, then what are you going to do on a Monday night or a Friday night or Saturday or Sunday? What are you going to do to make me care if it's a 5-star or not? I can get 5-star matches all the time. I'm sick and tired of just seeing great wrestling matches. I want great stories. And I think in some regards we're getting that with some people, and I think that he really struggled with that part. How do you make people care about your story? And the other thing is this. JR's talked about it a bunch of times on his podcast. He keeps saying he tells the talent you have to maximize your minutes. They give you however much time they give you, and they don't ever have to give it to you again. You have however much time that is to make the fans care about you. I don't feel like we didn't see Andrade much. I feel like that was somebody who did not maximize their minutes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All that to say,
Definitely.
I do wish him the best. And I do want him to be happy wherever he goes. And I hope that whatever lessons he can take out of this, he does. And I hope wherever he goes, he makes a huge splash and figures out how to connect to the fans. Because I do think that his talent in-ring is so good that I think the fans deserve to be connected to someone who's putting on performances that well. You know what I mean?
Yes. 100%.
Sorry, that was my rant. That was my diatribe. That's what I keep saying. Your boy's getting big, so when he's big enough, I'll cut promos for him. I'll do stuff like that for him. You know what I mean? Put him over.
Oh, yeah.
So, just get him to do fucking push-up once in a while. What do you think about this Charlotte getting COVID stuff? So, a lot of people saw that she was on the WrestleMania poster, and then she suddenly was not on the WrestleMania poster. And so a whole bunch of stories started running rampant about what speculation that may mean, and a bunch of people made up a whole bunch of things based off of a goddamn graphic. And now we see that Charlotte is not on TV, and she sends out a tweet saying, "Hey guys, I haven't been on TV. I got COVID. Peace."
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know. I read a couple internet rumors, which I normally don't do. And, of course, there's a lot of speculation that Charlotte was unhappy with something and, they weren't sure if it tied in with Andrade or not. Excuse me. But my thing is, I always listen to rumors and stuff like that to see if there's any validity behind them. And you would think if she had COVID, her COVID tweet would have come out weeks ago.
Well, she hasn't been gone for weeks.
She's been gone for a solid 2 weeks, right?
I think this was week 2. But
Oh.
but even then, you got Monday to Monday, right? So it's really only 7 days. Depending on when she got it, right? Or when she noticed. She had to have at least had it, or she had to at least test free of it on Monday. So that means if she tested positive on Tuesday, you're only talking about 6 days. 8 days, other direction.
Yeah.
So who knows? I also think the opposite of what you're saying. If she didn't have COVID, she more likely would have stayed silent. If everyone is throwing a bunch of rumors around saying that she threatened to quit the job, which is another funny thing to me. If we're talking about contracts, which I do not understand contracts, but if we're talking about contracts where Andrade asks for his release and they say no, and then the story is that Charlotte threatened to leave the company unless they let him out of his contract, you're like, so you're telling me that she can cut a contract whenever she wants, but they have control over everybody else's contract? It seems like, if nothing else, an idle threat, right? Like, if you're making it up about, hey, he can't get out of his contract, so she's going to get out of hers, what the fuck are you talking about? They're under similar contracts. You know what I mean? Most likely. I don't understand contracts. Maybe she has an out clause. I don't know. We don't pretend to know. But I will say, if a bunch of rumors are going around saying that she threatened to leave, that she was unhappy, that if he didn't get his release, that she would leave, and then she was given the, quote, ultimatum that she either sits out WrestleMania, or they'd give him the release if she sat out WrestleMania. Well, this is all, to me, so ridiculous and so speculative off of one graphic that it seems to me, if you're reading all this stuff over and over again, and you're seeing comments on every single post about Andrade saying, look at Charlotte standing up for a man, they all have the same screenshot of this random forum post by anonymous, signed anonymous, and you're like, this is someone who is fucking making it up based off a graphic and trying to see how well he can spread wildfire, because that's the best part about wrestling journalism, is it's about the clicks, not about the content. So if you're seeing all of this and everyone's talking about Charlotte when they should be talking about Andrade, why wouldn't she come out and say, "You idiots, it's not that I had a fucking dispute, it's that I have COVID. He was dealing with his business and I'm dealing with my COVID." You know what I mean? Like, that's what it felt like to me, that everyone's saying like, "Oh, look what she did." And she's like, "No, dummies, I have COVID. That's it." Because here's the other deal: is we're only 19 days away at this point, 18 days away from Wrestlmania. So if you can tell that they were trying to get, which Lacey had even said in an interview, they were trying to put the title on Lacey so Lacey could defend against Charlotte at Mania. Well, that didn't work out that way. Lacey's having a baby instead, a young Flair, a woo if you were.
Mm-hmm.
And Charlotte got COVID. So you're down 2 weeks from Charlotte being able to tell a story on TV. You're out a month worth of storytelling with Lacey to try to get you to a Charlotte match that you had in mind. What the fuck do you do but say, "Hey, it's not going to be this easy. We got only a couple weeks away to make these stories matter, and we're already out 2 weeks with you and a month behind." Yeah. Which is why I think we got what we got on Monday. But I don't know, Kev, what do you think? Am I got my head up my ass? What's up?
Well, yeah, but
yeah.
You speak some truth, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, who knows, obviously, with any of this stuff, because, obviously we don't.
Yeah.
And I think 99% of the shit out there, people don't know either. And the other 1%, they're just guessing and got it right.
Yep.
But, yeah. I mean, I don't see how Charlotte would ever threaten to leave WWE, considering she's like their golden child and gets pretty much whatever she wants.
Yeah,
she gets her way. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to digest everything that you went over.
I said a lot of things, man. I apologize.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, I mean, who knows? Like you said, what we got on Monday, we kind of, we're backed up into a corner, and taking Charlotte off the graphic, like it's whatever. If she's not going to be in it, cool. But you would think that they would release something to that beforehand.
Yes.
Because even when like Drew had COVID, they said it first, right? Before he did.
I don't know. I don't remember. That's a good question.
So, yeah, I thought
Drew said he had COVID
released...
before the company said he had COVID.
Yeah, I think the company said it first, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
I think it's possible.
But I think definitely before Wildfire starts, like it did.
Yeah.
Hey, Charlotte, we're gonna take you off the poster. Obviously, you're not going to be at WrestleMania. Do you want to release a tweet, or should we make a statement? I think that should have been like gone hand to hand instead of one before the other.
I mean, I see that. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I just don't know what order. But I do think that, like, do you? I mean, well, I guess the question then becomes: do you really think they're gonna kayfabe COVID during a pandemic?
No, not at all.
Because that would be fucked up, dude.
Yeah. Well, and it was the same thing as Lacey's pregnancy. Is this real? Is this not? This and that. And then it took her a while to say, "Oh yes, it's real. I'm having a baby."
That's true.
See you guys.
Yeah. No, I agree. So, I don't know. Let's see what Lunar's saying in the chat. Let me find it. Oh, he's just being a pirate in the chat. God damn it.
It's because you released the Kraken.
That's a good point. I did release the Kraken. I'm having eggnog, Lunar. What are you drinking? Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think they would kayfabe COVID because that's what some people are saying. They think that they're just kayfabing it. That's not exact. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, that'd be so distasteful. And it reminds me of when
Yeah.
people said they were kayfabing Roman's cancer.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up. Like,
Yeah.
That's the worst thing about the wrestling industry is even when they release something and say, hey, this is this, people run with it.
Yeah.
Because it's, a fantasy world and most people want to see their fantasies in this world come to light. And, like I said, they ran with, oh, they're faking Roman's cancer, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, hey, maybe in the Attitude Era, I could see somebody kayfabing cancer, but not so much these days.
I mean, I agree with all of that, to be honest. I do believe there was a time that may have been, they may have felt were acceptable, but I don't believe that we're in that time now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess that's what's going on in the news. We'll see how it all plays out. I do know that if Charlotte does come back in time for Mania, I do feel that they'll throw her in a match of some kind. It may not be a high-stakes one-on-one match, but I do think that they could easily get her into a story with somebody quickly because it is Charlotte. It is WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I mean, how do they get her in the main event before? They just literally said, well, now Charlotte's here and in the main event. Literally, it was one
they
promo
just
by Vince.
penciled her in.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, if they have like the women's battle royal, just throw her in there almost as a surprise entrant, maybe.
You could. I know someone was speculating about the idea of getting Charlotte versus Bayley one more time. We've seen them have a few matches together. They always do well together. Bayley always wins. I like that.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah. I think Charlotte won one, but that's it.
Mm.
Either way, I still say goose egg on that one. But I wouldn't be upset by that. If they shoehorned a quick one in there somehow, if Bayley was doing her ding-dong hello thing and Charlotte just walks by and goes, what the fuck are you doing? And then they just started punching each other or something, and they're like, that's it! Pointed the sign, we're doing it! Fuck. You know what I mean? Have her on as a guest and have them just start, like, talking mad shit to each other and being like, what the fuck? Where? You know what I mean? Like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
If they shotgunned a quick story with Charlotte and Bayley, there's enough history there. You could put together a good enough video package. Charlotte could take credit for Bayley and everything she did. You know what I mean? Because it's all like, oh, I'm the whole reason you cut your hair and started wearing turtlenecks. So you can get away with that. Well, let's talk about it, man. You ready to talk about the shows?
Yeah.
Am I missing anything? Was there something else that you wanted to throw in there that I steamrolled?
I don't think so.
All right. Sorry about that. Lunar is in the chat. He is drinking water, being a good Christian boy status. That's his new gimmick. He's a good Christian Minecraft player. That's what he's been doing, man. That's what he's been doing. Hey, did you check out the kickoff show or no?
No, I did not.
Okay.
No,
On the
I did
kickoff
not.
show, I'm just gonna let you know what happened, and I'm gonna ask what you think real quick. There was a United States Championship match against Riddle and Mustafa Ali.
Yes.
Riddle beat the shit out of Mustafa. Actually, it was a great match. Actually, to be honest with you, that match was good enough. You should probably go back and watch it because you like both these guys a lot.
Yes.
The match itself was fantastic. But at the end of the match, Mustafa loses. Sorry, spoiler. You should still watch the match.
No,
But-
I know what happened. They showed it on the pay-per-view. And Retribution walked off and left them behind, and
All right, well, if you fucking know everything, why don't you tell me what you thought about it then, dipshit? Calling me crazy. Trying to be a good host here. And... So what do you think about this?
I don't know.
They're breaking up. They're showing. Do you think that they're breaking up Retribution, or do you think they're just kicking out Mustafa?
I think they're kicking out Mustafa.
Do you think
That's-
Retribution will stay
well,
intact?
Yeah. Maybe gets a new leader or something, and I still think it's just so weird because we've talked about it before that Retribution's just been so underwhelming, and then for something like this to happen, it's like, well, it's like when they break up a tag team before they actually have a title run. And you're just like, well, we didn't get there, guys.
Yeah.
But, I mean, hopefully, it could be intriguing. Because, obviously what they've been doing of late to me has just been real flat. And, I'm interested. I want to see where it goes. They better give me something quick before I completely am off the Retribution bandwagon.
Yeah, what's funny is I had said actually to Sam Roberts, I had mentioned to him that I was more invested in Retribution than I ever have been, and I've always spoke very highly of Retribution. I was like, because this is potentially a big breakup. This could be a huge change in all these characters, or it could be a little bit more of the same, but with a different vision on it. Here we could even have each member go up against Mustafa, and he could be kind of building them up. I was like, there's just so much they could be doing with it. And his response to me was, "Don't get your heart broken again." And I was like, okay. Producer had something she wanted to say.
Now that I think about it, it would have been really cool if Rhea Ripley turned out to be the leader. I don't know. Just a thought.
I don't know if... So the idea behind Retribution was a bunch of misused wrestlers who were never given what they wanted.
Yeah, never mind. That didn't work then.
Yeah, Rhea got whatever she fucking wanted every time. Matter of fact, Rhea Ripley's gotten so much of whatever she wanted. She comes out on Raw. I'm just gonna fucking say it, dude. I'm gonna say it because now you got.
We're not there
fine.
yet. We'll
All right,
get
fine.
there.
All right, stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
All right, stay tuned.
Yeah.
All right, Ghost Wolf coming through saying, "Hey guys, what's up, Ghost Wolf? Cheers."
What's up,
Let's see. And Lunar says, "I just want Mason T-Bar to stick together as a team and fuck some shit up." I actually think Mason T-Bar would be great as a continuing tag team.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the match opened up really good, and we have that, but we didn't see anything of Retribution on Raw. So it does make me wonder. Hey, and I am thinking, because this is a show of Fastlane and the Raw Fallout. If you want to know what I thought about SmackDown, and you're listening now, go to Terrible Wrestling Takes podcast and check out his podcast from the night before Fastlane. We did a coverage of SmackDown there. Otherwise, you can find it on all of our video platforms. As far as an audio podcast, it's on his podcast. So, what?
I wouldn't have put that in the title then.
SmackDown? Oh, okay. Well, it's in the title, but it's not true. So, since we are talking about Fastlane and Raw, unless there's something about SmackDown you definitely wanted to say.
I don't think so.
Okay. Then what we'll do is, as we get through some of these stories on Fastlane, we'll talk about the fallout on Raw and go through it that way. Is that cool?
Yeah.
So we'll kind of flip back and forth. So we'll just talk storylines and not just be so beholden to the idea of the show and then the next
One
thing.
show, then the other. Yeah, that works.
Yeah. So we'll. He's saying it would be a badass tag team. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, T-Bar and Mace would make such a good a badass tag team. They could even stay T-Bar and Mace. They can stay Retribution. I don't know, man. Slapjack. I mean, he's good, but I feel like he's the... I don't know.
He always felt like the odd one out.
Right? He weirdly felt oddly out.
And truthfully, I think it was just his mask. Like, everyone had, like, interesting masks, and he had, like, that paper mache mask. And it was just like, he just didn't belong.
It's fucked up. That's the whole point of Retribution, is they all felt like they didn't belong. And you're all like, but for Slapjack, it's true.
Yeah. But he's an outcast of an outcast.
Yeah. He's double outcast, man.
Yeah.
He's going to double down. Lunar's being a dick in chat, said slap who? Slap you, Lunar. Well, let's talk about the show. It says, as it gets going, we did open up with the Women's Tag Team Championship match. Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler against Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks, and special guest enforcer Reginald. Fucking Reginald just keeps getting involved in every goddamn thing, man.
Yeah.
So, let's start with what you thought about it. Because we don't have a fallout, because SmackDown's going to be the fallout. But what did you think about this match, especially as an opening match? Obviously, Nia and Shayna defeat Bianca and Sasha via pinfall. What do you think about this matchup?
Truthfully, I wasn't invested in the match. The only thing I didn't want was for Sasha and Bianca to win. Yeah. But the way that they are trying to build tension with Bianca and Sasha just has me not interested in the SmackDown Women's Championship at all. Like their match for WrestleMania, unless something changes in the next 3 weeks, like I feel like it's just going to be like a turd. Just a turd that flops on the floor.
Yeah, loose turd. I hear you.
Yeah.
I agree, dude. This feels like I felt like this match set the tone. You know, they always talk about how like the first match will set the tone for the whole night.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was so true here. Because here was a match where 4 wrestlers put together actually an awesome wrestling match, and most everything made sense as you went, and then the finish came and the whole story just becomes wonky and loses its footing. I felt like the creative here lost its footing, but not the wrestlers. I felt like there was spots here and there that made me a little bit nervous about the idea of a one-on-one match coming up, but we'll see. But this story here overall feels so muddied and so convoluted and so weirdly forced, when the story only needs to be champion, Royal Rumble winner. I want to take your title because that's what I have won. I am an amazing champion because no one can beat me. Instead, what they've done is built Sasha Banks like the weakest SmackDown champion we've had. She's not defending it against anybody at all, week after week. She beat Carmella because of Reginald several times, and that's been it. She does not look dominant. She's taking pins in a ton of matches. She looks like a champion who just fell ass backwards into having a championship. Where with Bayley, as we always go back to Bayley, because why would we not? She is the pinnacle of all things wrestling. She made that title feel hard to obtain. She made it look like she was a wall. She was willing to do anything it took to win. And she wasn't going to lose that title. So much so that as day and day went on, and it was like, wow, she's had the title for over 500 days. She's really good at this. And every contender looks like they have a chance. With Sasha, it's like she barely won it not that long ago, maybe longer than we think. She's defended against nobody. She keeps taking pins. What the fuck's going on? You know what I mean? Then you go into the match thinking, well, obviously she's going to lose. She's not a strong champion. Like, why is that the champion we have?
Yeah. Well, and like you said, just this tension that they're trying to build between them. I think if they just started off with that, you know, the whole rookie, you're only a rookie, you know, if they started off with that as soon as Bianca won Rumble, okay, there might be some interest there. You know, let's build this story up with it. You know, let's have them go back and forth. And like you said, it's just as simple as Royal Rumble winner, champion, go. But they're forcing this weird, and you know, it's weird because I think they're supposed to both be faces right now.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're going about 2 faces all the wrong way.
Yeah.
You know, they always say, you know, you hear them all the time, we don't like to do face versus face, this and that. Cool. But to me, and maybe it's not the popularity like it was, but you could have had a similar Hogan versus Warrior.
Yeah, that's
you know,
true.
where hey, you pick your favorite. I like this person over this person. If the other person wins, I'm not going to be upset because I still like them as well, but I like this person more.
Yeah. No, I feel that. I think it's 100% the way they should have gone with it if you're going to have to try and build a story. But let's talk a little bit about the need to build a story too. Let's just have fun tonight, man. I'm drinking. Let's do it. Let's talk about what Just in Time is saying in my chat. Just in Time recently bought several of our shirts, which you can too, ProWrestlingTees.com/WrestlingOnTheRocks, or you can go to WrestlingOnTheRocks.com and click shop, and it'll take you right to it, and you can get all the shirts that he got. I think the only shirt he did not get was the Give Me What I Want shirt, which is ironic because I thought that was going to be the only shirt we sold for a long time, and it's the only one that I've only sold 2 of. One of them to me, and one I bought for someone else. I was like, people are going to love this meme shirt, and everyone's all like, nah, fuck that. So, all right. But nonetheless, Just in Time is very supportive, and yet still has heat with us, as you will see. So, Justin does say in the chat, it's really bad when Sasha and Bianca have had weeks to build this feud and tell the story, and it's been awful. And spoiler, Asuka and Rhea just got announced last night, and it's more exciting. I want to challenge that concept, right? So without digging in too deep, maybe we will. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Let's talk about that. The reason you're excited about Asuka and Rhea is because we didn't have it before. The reason
it's new.
You think it's new. The reason the build for Sasha and Bianca is so bad is because it's so forced and muddied when you know what you're getting already. We're not building towards anything. We already have the thing. So the story is bad because it's already there, right? Mm-hmm. Imagine this. Kev, tell me what you think. If Rhea Ripley won the WrestleMania match, would we be in a different spot today than we are now at all?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. Because we have a story building with Bianca and Sasha, where they're a tag team that is about to break up. So we'll get the head-to-head match that we, quote, know we're leading towards, but without the already graphics because we already knew because of the Rumble win. So if we didn't have any of that build around Sasha and Bianca, would it be an okay story maybe? Because I think maybe. And we'd still have this match with Rhea and Asuka that doesn't need any story at all.
Yeah. Like if Bianca didn't win the Rumble?
Yes, if Rhea won the Rumble, Rhea would have challenged Asuka. We'd have the same amount of story to be in the same exact place. If Bianca was number 2 in the Rumble, she would have teamed up with Sasha, and we'd be seeing the exact same thing we're seeing, building that tension, saying, oh, it's going to break. Oh, it's going to break just in time for Mania. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We might be more excited if she didn't win the Rumble.
Yeah. I definitely think that.
Woo! Woo! That's what makes us the IIronics. Justin, what do you think? Did it blow your mind? That's what I think's going on. When I thought about it last night, I went, shit, the wrong person won the Rumble. If Rhea won and Bianca was 2, we would be in the exact same place, but we would be excited about both things.
Yeah.
I think what's spoiling the Rumble victory for Bianca is this story that forces a weird story on top of a Rumble win. We've been saying it for weeks. We've been saying it since episode 1.
Yeah.
All they need to do is say, I'm a dominant champion and I want your title, and they're not because that's the Rumble win. So that's what's making it weird is we already know. So, I don't know. And then this didn't help, and it, again, made Sasha look weak and stupid, and then they're slapping each other and calling each other names. But Sasha's gear was dope, dude. Spider-Man gear? That was dope.
Yeah. That's the one thing that made me nervous is when they came out and they were, like, matching. Like, I was like, oh, fuck, they're going to win. And that's what I didn't want it. I hate
sent out a great tweet after that. She sent out a tweet, and it was like a picture of her making like a smarmy ass face, and it said like, "Oh, it looks like the matching gear didn't work, did it?" So funny.
Nice.
But yeah, I was nervous about it too. I was like, "No!"
Yeah, as soon as I saw they were matching, I was like, God damn it, they're gonna get the titles. Just because, and I have no problem if they would have won it, but I just hate that lately all we have been getting is a double champ for whatever reason with the women's title or tag titles.
Yep. Yep, I agree. Justin Time's in the chat saying mind blown completely. I think he's still just trying to deplete some of that heat. I think he knows he's got heat because he says he has these wild ass takes online, and I always go, man, he listens to Bishop too much. This guy's got terrible wrestling takes. was kidding. Justin Time's actually a really great guy to follow. So if you aren't following Justin Time 211 on Twitter, I say do it because he's a really fun follow and a really cool guy. He keeps referring to this side of the IWC, the Internet Wrestling Community. And I think what he's talking about is that we all just drink, yell, make fun of each other, and then be friends at the end. And the other side of the IWC, they're passionately trying to murder each other.
With words.
Kill the company. Yeah. Kill the company. Take out, use your words to murder someone. Take pride in how many people block you because you're a piece of shit. And we're all over here so like, man, I thought we were just having drinks and goofing around. What's going on over there?
You guys take this way too serious.
Yeah. Whoa, dude. We yell, but we're joking, though. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we say we hate the other person, we literally do not.
Yeah, we literally don't hate them. Hashtag pointless aggression. Pick up your pointless aggression t-shirt, ProWrestlingTees.com. Yeah, Justin
Man,
said
we're
like
plugging all the shirts tonight.
Dude, we're getting the shirts plugged, man. I want to sell some shirts. I'm telling you. Justin Time just says we're like the cool side of the pillow. I agree. We are the cool side of the pillow of the IWC. Maybe I'll make a t-shirt that's just a pillow on it. It says cool.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Whoa, blast from the past. Kevlar, guess who's in the chat?
TP Poker.
Oh, you knew it, dude. You started guessing it before I said it.
Or I looked at the chat.
Or you looked at the chat. Could have been either one.
Yeah, one of the two.
Welcome back, TV Poker. Cheers. We haven't seen you in a long time.
Cheers.
Thank you for coming through to derail the show for a minute. We appreciate it.
Yeah. It's about time.
Long time, first time. I know, man. I've been wondering where the hell he's been at.
Yeah.
Oh, I know why he's back tonight. Little pervert. He's here to talk about Alexa. He's always that way, dude.
All right.
All right, let's do it. Let's see. So the next match we had for the night, though, the Intercontinental Championship match, Big E versus Apollo Crews. Big E defeats Apollo Crews, we think, sort of, via pinfall, sort of, to retain kind of a title, maybe? Kev, what did you think of this match?
At first I didn't like it because they were talking too much, I think. And then, or in my opinion, but then, we got a good match. And then the ending was just, I have no idea. I couldn't make a take out of it. Like, I'm pretty sure Big E won. They pointed to him winning.
Jessica definitely pointed at Big E getting the win. It was really hard to figure out what the intention was. It was, to me, the tell that something did not go right was there was no replays. None.
Yeah.
So if they're not willing to play it back, it's because they either don't have an angle of it that shows what they were trying to accomplish, or the thing that happened was not what they were trying to accomplish. You know what I mean? Sort of like with the Rock and Big E, or not Big E, Big Show. When the Rock and Big Show went over the top rope in the 2000 Royal Rumble, they only showed a couple angles because the other angles showed that they failed at doing the thing they were trying to do.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like something went wrong there. But I do think so. These awkward moments of feeling like something's wrong, something was botched. I think that this show overall was a tremendous showing for the refs. This was one of those times where it only feels weird to you because the ref had to call it exactly as it was actually happening in front of them and didn't do whatever it takes to just let the match happen the way it's supposed to go. And to me, that's incredible. I love those moments because it's like that is what makes this stuff comes off looking real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because and I know they talk about it and, we'll use the vernacular this time and it's always goofy when we do, but it's always like the refs have to, quote, call it like a shoot, call it like a real fight, call it like you see it. Because if you don't, then we see it, right? So the alternative to this finish was everyone going, what the fuck is the ref doing? Right?
Yeah.
Where with this one, people are saying like, oh, the ref called it as they saw it. They didn't save the match for the guys. Yep. Well, as Tristan Law said on our episode 1, if you don't get your shoulders up, boom, new champ. Sorry, pal.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't a new champ in this one, but we talked about that with Tristan Law on our show a long time ago. Check it out. Check out his podcast, Tristan Law Show. But the referees need to call it like they see it, and they shouldn't even be involved in the finish as far as knowing what it is, because if you go too far in trying to protect the finish, you start exposing the finish, and it's up to the performers, up to the wrestlers, up to your fighters to be on the ball. So it was kind of weird. Yeah. It was a little bit weird. Let's see. And TV Poker's in the chat saying, how you doing? How about the Roman and Bryan match? We're going to get there for sure. He says he loves Alexa, but he's growing tired of the Harley Quinn act. It's getting worn out already. This is a creepier version of Harley Quinn. Something's up with it. I'm not tired of it. I'm more disturbed by it. I kind of want to know. I almost bought an Alexa meet and greet just to ask her if her fiance actually watches what she does or is too afraid to. Because I think that both answers are correct. I think if she says he watches because he's very supportive and loves it, I'd go, that is absolutely the correct thing to do. But if she goes, he refuses to watch it, he's terrified of it, like, that's 100% what, absolutely fine. Yeah, you should not watch it. That would be terrifying.
Yeah.
Can you imagine she like comes home after doing a Raw, and he's just sitting on the couch, and she like goes to sit next to him. He's like, "Can you just sit? Could you just like a couple of feet for just a minute, please? Yeah. Just like sit on the other side of the couch. We'll be okay. I just need a couple minutes." You know. Curl's coming through. Cheers, Curl. Thank you for coming through. If you guys want to come in and derail the show, twitch.tv/wrestlingonthemarks. Cheers. TV Poker is asking, why did Apollo Crews develop a Jamaican accent? Interesting question. TP, if you haven't been watching the weeklies, Apollo is of Nigerian descent, and that's a shoot brother, as they say. He really is. He lived in Nigeria for a while. He moved to America at a certain point. I think he was born in America. They moved to Nigeria. He moved back. But both of his parents, he was like 6. He talks about it on After the Bell. I feel like if you listen to the After Bell podcast with Corey Graves, just do the if you don't want to listen to all of them, you don't have to. But the Apollo Crews episode, he really goes into depth into his past. And he talks about it. He brings it up. And yeah, week by week, he was talking about going back to his roots and being more true to himself and all of that. And he slowly developed or divulged back into a Nigerian accent, which is what he was saying that he was more used to speaking when he faked the American accent to blend in. So a really interesting storyline and pretty cool. That's really funny. TV Pokers in the chat says, if I was him, when she walked into the house, I'd throw up some black goop. That'd be so fucking funny, dude. Can you imagine? Can you imagine Lexi Kaufman walks into her home and her fiance just goes, just gets black fucking food coloring just spitting out. Oh, God. I'm going to see if I can't DM that idea to Ryan Cabrera right now. I'm going to see, hey. And then Justin Time's like, yeah. Best April Fool's
prank. Yeah.
Justin Time says, would you blame him for being slightly traumatized? Those soulless stares she has are terrifying. That's exactly what I mean. I think that there's no wrong answer. If he refuses to watch what she does, I agree with him entirely and support him. If he watches everything she does because of how good she is at it, I 100% agree and support him. There's no wrong response to however he approaches what she's been doing. And then Kiro says, let's talk about Mad Randy's wife. We'll get there. We're getting there. But this match in and of itself, I thought was a really good match that again had a wonky finish. It was a really weird finish. I thought it made the ref look good because they called it like they sees it, but it was a really good match. And it makes me think, do you believe we're going to end up getting to, because there was a line at the end where they said Big E retained his championship, but Apollo Crews was the last man standing. Do you think we get a last man standing match at Mania between these two?
I definitely think it's going to be a gimmick match. I don't know if it's going to be last man standing, but
okay,
it's going to be something. Because to me, I think they need to show. I know they showed Apollo beating him up once. You know, other than that, like, I don't know. I think with the last man standing match, there's more back and forth because
Well, we still
Biggie
got
keeps
time.
winning in the. Yeah, Biggie keeps winning in the ring, but Apollo's beating him up outside of the ring or outside of matches.
That's a good point too. That's a good point. Well, I agree. I do think it's going to be a gimmick match. My hunch is it's a last man standing match. But I agree with you. If they are going to go that route, hopefully there's a little bit more story to it. But as we've been seeing, they don't always need a story.
But do you think they'll do a last man standing match 2 Manias in a row?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. They do Hell in a Cell every year.
Yeah, the Hell in a Cell. The damn blasted Royal Rumbles every goddamn year.
Yeah. We got 2 goddamn Royal Rumbles a year now. Kiro does say Big E on a pole match. I could do it. Watch them add last man standing stipulation to Braun and Shane's match instead, and that's where we're going. Braun Strowman versus Elias. Choo choo. Chugga 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 choo choo.
Speaking of that,
Yeah.
was that the first time that they added that audio
They did
on
that.
Raw?
Yeah, that was the first time. And that's one more example of how we know that Bruce Pritchard watches the show. Bruce, we see ya. We see ya and we love ya. There's no way Bruce Pritchard doesn't watch this show. I've been saying choo choo and chugga chugga every time Braun does stuff. I've been saying it for weeks. So when they added the sound effect this time, I was all like, thank you, Bruce.
The great sound effects to the stupid Express.
Yeah, it's insane. Did you get a chance to actually see that, producer? Because I know you slept through it on this. Did you see a replay of it?
I was working.
So
But-
when Braun did the runaround on the outside on Raw, they added a train sound effect.
I've been saying for a while, we are influencers, even if we are not recognized.
That's a good point. Bruce will never admit it, but we see you, Bruce.
Well, I mean, yeah, we're still in episode 1, so
Still
you know,
episode 1.
they're
Bruce
not
likes
gonna-
to come and have a drink.
They're not going to admit it, but we're definitely influencers.
No, definitely. Dude, no, I get it. Bruce, have a drink. Let's talk. Just hanging. We're just hanging. Bruce likes to come through. He likes to have a drink with us. And then, and hey, if he gets a few ideas, he gets a few ideas. I ain't mad at it. Let's see. Braun's running trains on people. Kuro's correct that he is. Sound effects as well. And then Kuro says, man, full-blown production. Yeah. So, but we did have this, right? So Shane McMahon blew his knee out. Just
Tore his
with
whole
the-
ACL.
tore his whole ACL just the same way as the old Family Guy. Where he's like,
Yeah.
holding his knee.
See,
Ah.
when they show him get injured, I was like,
Yeah.
come on, guys, retake that one.
Yeah.
Like, make it a little more believable.
Yeah, you're watching, you're like, all right, cool. Let's do it one more time. Let's run through it again. This time a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do it the one time, and Shane's like, one take, Shane McMahon, am I right? And they're all like, no, it's like just one take, you know what I mean? Every time, one take. Like, if you have time. He goes, don't got time because I'm a one take kind of a guy. And he just walks out and like, fuck.
One shot Shane.
Yeah, we got what we got, man. Let's see. The match in and of itself wasn't a bad match, Elias and Braun. I think if Braun's trying to be a big badass, though, he probably could have won a bit quicker, but that's my only thing.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good match for what it was. A fill-in match. I definitely agree with you that I think Braun should have maybe not completely steamrolled him, but like won quicker.
Yeah.
And then
I
with-
agree.
Riker throwing Elias back into the ring on that 10 count.
Yeah.
Didn't understand that.
I don't know, man. The stuff going on with Riker is a little bit weird, too. He's like such a mean-looking motherfucker, and he's got a ton of heat online. It just feels like you could do so much with that, and it feels like they're really not, which is a bit weird. So, I don't know. And this was what it was. And then, so let's talk about the Fallout then, right? Because we're doing that. We've just gone through SmackDown, so it hasn't felt that way. But so on the Fallout on Raw, we have, let's see, there's a rematch of Braun versus, where the fuck is it? It was
Elias.
way at the end. Braun versus Elias. These are my notes. Good Lord, choo-choo sounds when Braun runs around the ring. Braun wins. Braun cuts actually great promo. Shane accepts match at Mania. Any stipulation. So Shane McMahon runs away, then starts dancing and doing his whole thing. And then, you know, Braun actually cut a really good promo. I actually really liked this promo he did.
Yeah, he did good.
I was all like, oh, shit. He's practiced this one. But those fucking train noises, man, I've been saying since they started it, the Express has to go. The Express is so fucking garbage, dude. And now they're like leaning fucking into it. They do the steam on the outside and we laugh at them. Literally, I'm in the Thunderdome. I've seen it a couple of times. When Braun's out of the ring, I'm going like this, going choo choo, choo choo, because it's stupid. And they're all like, this is the thing. If you thought Get These Hands was big,
yeah.
Imagine Choo Choo Express.
Choo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have I got a thing for Choo?
You know what I want them to do with live audience? You know how like the Street Profits, the first couple rows, they give them cups? I want them to give everyone train whistles.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Like,
that'd be so good, dude. Fucking train whistles. Grim Reaper's loving the fucking choo-choo sounds. Justin says Tom Phillips' train puns on commentary made it worse. I guess I wasn't on board for those. Fab Tina says, "Oh God, conductors everywhere. That'd be so great. The whistles." Get the Shining Time Station SmackDown going. Yeah, I mean, fuck, dude. Here's the thing. Braun's actually cutting the best promos of his career. He's in the best shape of his entire fucking life. And you got a whole fucking storyline where everyone's just calling him a dummy. So you look stupid. You're stupid. No, you're stupid. Fucking literally doing hopscotch, Nickelodeon green slime and choo-choo sounds. And you're like, guys, I really fucking want to like him right now.
Thank you, just in time, for gifting Grim Reaper a sub.
Da 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 da, choo choo, chugga 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 chugga, choo choo. I hit the money gun, but I think I'm just gonna move over to a train whistle. That'll make producer much happier, anyways. So, what do you think about this? They're gonna do a stipulation match. Braun and Shane. Do you think it's going to be last man standing? Do you think it's going to be a Nickelodeon Scream match? A double dare match, if you will?
Yeah,
Temple of Doom. What's the temple
shirt? Legends of the Hidden Temple.
There it is.
Legends of the Hidden Temple, yeah.
You know exactly what it was. Yeah, you're like, idiot. It's
Bring back Nick Arcade.
Yeah, Nick Arcade.
Oh, Guts. Ooh, they could do a lot.
Special guest enforcer Xavier Woods. Dude, this is such a weird
Summers
one.
Doing nowadays?
Oh, he can be the guest ring announcer. I don't know, man. It's so weird. I mean, what do you think about what they did here versus on Raw? I don't know. What do you think, man?
I mean, on Raw, like the sound effects just killed everything up until the end.
It was like that wet fart thing where you're like laughing at first because the fart's so good. But then you sit in it for a second and you're all like, fuck, I got 6 more hours of work.
Why? That's horrible because there are humidifiers where you work.
Oh, yeah. No, if you do it in the humidor, fucking forget it. Sales are going to plummet. But, yeah, I mean, you guys all know.
What, just me?
Yeah, we've all been there. We've all sat there and been like, oh, man.
Just as long as your shoe doesn't get all squishy.
Yeah, my sock's soaking wet. Grim Reaper says, have Braun try to put together the shrine of the silver monkey and see how stupid he is.
That'd be so great. No one can get that stupid monkey back in the day. There's 3 pieces.
That's true. Everyone looks stupid here.
You had the damn base, the cutout was there, and you just put the middle and then put the fucking head on. And no one got it. I agree. Give Braun the silver monkey.
Yeah, it wasn't a goddamn Rubik's Cube. What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
It also felt like it was like nobody who was ever on that show ever watched the show. Because every time they got to the silver monkey, you're like, oh, here's the 3-piece puzzle that just goes in that one order. And everyone's all like, I've never seen anything like this in my life. You're like, what? Why don't you watch the show? You're going to be on it.
I know when I was a kid, that would frustrate the shit out of me. The stupid silver monkey. No, idiot! Put the bottom piece. No, damn it! Flip it around.
Man. I wish Twitter was around then. Can you imagine the Legends of the Hidden Temple Twitter community?
Yeah.
Look at this dumb fuck! All right. Let's see. The next match after that, it was Seth Rollins and Shinsuke Nakamura. This might be the best wrestling match of the night.
The wrestling mat in this match was amazing. Pristine, clean.
Dude, I've had so much booze so far right now. That eggnog is like...
Wait, how much is left?
Someone needs to make a beer run.
I've had over half of it, and we're getting lower on the Kraken. I've been mixing like crazy, and I felt like it was diluted. It wouldn't be a problem, but it's a problem.
I'm the only one here that doesn't have to work tomorrow, so.
Fuck. Grim Reaper says Blue Barracudas for life.
Yeah, that's what I was during the mud run.
Yeah, I was about to say, wasn't that you guys? Weren't you the Blue
yeah.
Barracudas? Yeah.
Damn straight we were.
But this match I thought was fantastic. This was like just an incredible match. Again, all these matches have been good. It's just like the stories have been off. With Braun and Elias, it felt like I don't know what the fuck that's doing for us. With Seth and Shinsuke, it was like I don't really get why we had to do this, but it was still a great match. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm happy for it. And then you're also happy knowing that the next match is going to be Seth and Cesaro, but you're also kind of like, and for why? You know what I mean? It's like a really weird, been good, but don't know why.
Well, that, and to me, if Seth and Cesaro don't live up to Seth and Shinsuke, it's going to be even more weird, more awkwarder.
That's a good point. That could be awkwardest.
The EST of awkward.
Yeah. Let's see. All right, well, not much else to say about that. I mean, just because it was so good. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing and saying, yeah, that was a great match. I liked it. Wouldn't mind seeing it again down the road.
It may be the best match of the night, but I think the one that confuses me on if it really truly is the best match of the night was the main event. So we'll get there. But next up was Drew McIntyre against Sheamus in a no-holds-barred match where explosions that were actually functional went off. Do
you think they did that on purpose, by the way?
I mean, maybe.
The petty shit is what gets us. And I saw that and I was like, yes!
Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked just because in Drew McIntyre's last promo before this match, he said, if you don't give the fans what they want, it can be explosive. Or something like that. Yeah. He'd made some sort of quote about how you don't want it to fizzle out, like kind of a deal. It was like he was being real tongue-in-cheek there, and you're all like, okay. And then so this happened, and you just know he was all like, come on, guys. Man, you got to give me like some explosives, ain't like a good old McIntyre blow up. You know what I mean? All right. Grim Reaper has a good point. Seth Rollins taking a mid-card role this year for WrestleMania primes him for the world title run later in 2021, which is very, very possible. But he also was pretty mid-card last year with Kevin Owens, so we'll see. But this match, this McIntyre and Sheamus match. We did a watch along with Bishop from Terrible Wrestling Takes. We did a terrible drink along. And I found myself getting real distracted on it because the match just did not matter. It didn't matter. There was nothing here that would make a difference for anything. Even Tom Phillips, like a jackass. I love Tom Phillips, by the way. But he just says something like, all of this sacrifice just to get to WrestleMania. And you're like, no. He's already in WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre doesn't have to do this. He's doing this for no reason. Because he kept saying, like, this is just to be the one at WrestleMania. No, that's not on the line. That's not up for discussion. He's already on the poster. It's already said and done. So it was really hard for me to give a shit about this match and even pay attention. I was, like, eating my wings, like, I don't give a shit about this match because it didn't matter. And so here was, like, unfortunately, a terrific, brutal beatdown, a drag-out fight that was hard to pay attention to because it didn't fucking matter.
It needed to be the number one contender match.
Yes.
Like if this was the number one contender match, I think it would have, it would have drew us in more.
100%. If there was any chance that if Sheamus wins this match, he's going to WrestleMania to win to face off with the champion, I would have been glued to my screen and I would have been screaming, no! You know what I mean? But because it didn't matter, I didn't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And again, like I was saying earlier, make me care because I can see great matches all the fucking time. Make me care about the match because not everyone can do that. And here was a perfect example of an incredible match that didn't fucking matter, so I didn't care.
Yeah.
And it was incredible. Great performers, putting on a hell of a show, putting their bodies on the line, doing everything. And I just didn't care because it didn't matter. And that's the fault of the creative and not the fault of the wrestlers. They did everything they could to make me get up and care. But at the end of the day, if you won or lost, nothing changed. Not only was there no stipulations, there were literally no stakes and really no point. It was let's go beat up each other for fucking no reason. And how easy would it have been to add a stipulation like you said? All it had to be was like, this is the number one contender spot. Sheamus has a gripe and Drew's willing to put it up. So do it. It had taken 30 seconds of a promo.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it would be easy.
Yep. Grim Reaper has a theory in the chat. He says if they weren't concerned about ticket sales, the number one contender match would have been in play. McIntyre's money for them at WrestleMania. I don't agree with that at all. I don't think anyone's buying WrestleMania tickets because Drew McIntyre's on the card or is not on the card. I don't think Drew McIntyre plays into the WrestleMania sales at all. I think it's the first WrestleMania that fans are allowed to go in over a year. I think it's the first wrestling event on this scale that any company's had in over a year. I think people are buying tickets regardless of the card. There is no ticket sale. No one's saying like, well, I wasn't going to go, but then they said McIntyre's on the card, so now I got to. Fuck that. You're only selling 25,000 tickets. You can't get 25,000 people nationwide to just go. They usually get almost 100,000. Also, regardless of the sales. Was it WrestleMania 20? Was it Madison Square Garden? Sold out in less than a minute? No match was even announced. That's WrestleMania. You know? We thought about even getting tickets for WrestleMania. Yeah. This year even. I was like, well, maybe we should go. But then we decided, you know what? Nah. Won't do it. You know what never came up in conversation? Is Drew going to be on the card? Yeah.
But
we'll
with us, if we found out if Drew was on the card, then we'd be like, yeah, we're not going.
Yeah, true. Grim says WWE thinks that, not me. Fucking liar. He's backpedaling. Backpedaling. Let's see. So, since we were talking about what happened on the Fallout, that brings us Drew and Sheamus. Oh, the old McIntyre. Huh? I wrote a book. Have you seen it? So let's talk. What? This is where he came out as Braveheart. What do you think about that? His Braveheart mask.
I didn't mind it. I was I almost wanted Sheamus to come out in green and orange face paint.
Yes. Sheamus, I wanted him to come out because it's a street fight, because there's no DQ. I wanted him to come out in suspenders and newsy shit.
Yeah.
I wanted that dude look a goddamn Peaky Blinders, what I was hoping for. But instead, we get Drew McIntyre painting his face like Mel Gibson, his hero.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I said when he came out with that? I was like, is that Braveheart? And then I went, does he not know how that movie ends? Braveheart didn't win, dude. Yeah. He got quartered.
But Drew wanted to prove that his Braveheart can win. Because he defies all the odds.
Like, yeah, maybe. They can take my title, but they could never take my fart. Okay. Drew McIntyre. He's a living whoopee cushion. Well, since there's only 2 other segments, we'll just talk about them and then we'll go to Raw. Let's see. Randy Orton versus Alexa Bliss, dude. This was crazy.
Wait.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I thought we were gonna do the fallout of Drew and Sheamus's matches on Raw.
I don't want to.
I thought we were just saying sticking storyline.
Do you
Changing
really
lanes
want
without signaling?
Do you want to do that, or do you want to talk? Well, I guess because we'll go back and forth on these 2. Well, no, because there's only... Well, okay. Well, all right, fine. Let's see. So let's go to Raw. Opens up with Bobby Lashley. Oh, and then they had Bobby Lashley versus Sheamus. So Samoa Joe said a thing on here, too. He's like, Bobby Lashley's been fighting for 16 years to get here, but Drew's been fighting for 17.
17,
And I was like, it was 16 last week, and 2 weeks before that it was 15. And when he first won the title, it was 10.
Yeah.
Fucking stop, dude. Eventually it's going to be like, since he was in utero, Drew's been fighting for this title. They just keep inflating it. The amount of years that Drew McIntyre has been trying to become champion is equal to the weight of Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3. Every year it goes up by about 25 to 50 pounds. It's fucking ridiculous, dude. I was like, shut up. Fucking Christ. And so then we get Lashley versus Sheamus in a really stiff match, which had to be tough for Sheamus, dude. He was all welted up, bruised up. The dude looked like tenderized meat.
Yeah.
But Bobby wins with the Hurt Business interfering. Bobby was babyfacing it, didn't like that they were doing that, told him not to do that. And then after the match, Hurt Business drags out Sheamus, starts beating the snot out of Sheamus. And then at that point, producer comes out of the kitchen, walks over, and she goes, is this some bullshit where Drew's going to come out and save Sheamus? You hear the fucking horns go. Here he comes. You hear the swing sword. And here comes old Drew McIntyre to prove a point again.
I was so pissed. Because I know I don't call anything. I usually am just...
She's surprised by everything.
Yeah, I'm watching it like I'm watching it for the first time, and this was a bummer to me.
So then Drew comes out, he starts saving Sheamus, and then heels on Bobby Lashley, calling Lashley names, telling Lashley he dares him to hit him, you little bitch.
And
hit
Lashley,
me, you dumb bitch. And Bobby Lashley was baby-facing it.
He's the best baby face.
He was such a baby face here, dude. He's all like, you're not going to get me off my kilt. MVP's all like, think about the business, man. Don't do this. Yeah.
Wait for Mania.
And here was Bobby not beating up a dude with his hands tied behind his back. And here's Drew just being like, do it, you bitch. And you're like, fuck you, dude.
Because Bobby's a face in this match. I'm telling you.
Dude, there's no way he's not the baby face here.
Yeah. Like, everything Drew does, we've been saying it all episode ones that I can think back to.
Good point.
That Drew is a heel.
Yeah.
And, you know, and like you were saying, Bobby was doing like almost every face thing possible.
Yeah.
Besides going to the gang in the back saying, whoever takes out, you know, McIntyre before Mania gets a title shot.
That was a little weird. But he did have a promo with MVP, or that was telling the rest of the Hurt Business that they were embarrassment to be helping, to be doing that, to making Bobby Lashley look bad. Bobby's like, I don't need that shit. So he's like, what are you going to do to make it right? Fast forward a little bit. Drew McIntyre ends up getting a handicap match with the Hurt Business to keep them banned from ringside Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce looking like an absolute moron in this promo. Hey, Drew. That's what he sounds like to me. Hey, Drew. Hey.
Come on.
I'm Adam Pearce.
That's not what he
Is that
sounds
Sylvester
like.
Stallone?
Kind of, yeah.
Adrian.
Adrian. He's all like, hey, Drew. And he says, hey, the Hurt Business wants to take you on a handicap match, which obviously I would never do. And Drew's all like, oh, but wait. Fucking says he wants a handicap match. Says he's going to stick his thumb up their buttholes.
He didn't say that, but I was so confused at this. Because I was like, why?
Why is he making matches?
Yeah, why Adam Pearce? He's not a champ. He's supposedly like... Whoa, what is happening?
Really?
Okay, I didn't do that.
Yeah, well, I just hope the computer didn't pick it up. I don't think it did, though. Kev, are you still with me? All right. Good.
Yes, sir.
You didn't hear that, did you?
Yeah, no. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I don't think it was there. Siri went crazy just now. It was insane. So,
All right.
but bottom line, Adam Pearce is all like, Drew, I don't know what to do. And Drew's all like, oh, I'm a big old whoopee cushion. How about one of them? He gets a handicap match. If he wins, he gets
With a
to have their
yeah.
what? Yeah, he gets to have.
I said with the
them-
step.
With a step, they get banned from ringside, and Adam Pearce goes like, "That's a great idea. I could never thought of that up." I don't know why Adam Pearce looks so dumb in this one. Am I wrong on that? What do you think?
No, he looked pretty dumb.
It's weird.
He rode the
That's weird.
stupid express to work that day.
Choo choo. Adam Pearce been hanging out with Braun Strowman, it turns out. Let's see, we had a Sheamus promo where Riddle showed up. I put like a douche, but I bet you loved it, right?
I started laughing at first, and it was annoying to me even. But
Starts asking all those weird questions. Sheamus eventually grabs the scooter from him, goes like, "Oh, what the fuck is going?" And then smashes Riddle with a scooter and runs away. I'm not against Riddle and Sheamus as a match.
no, I just hope that they don't put, if Sheamus wins the U.S. title, no problems with that. But I don't want them to then turn around with Drew winning it at Mania and then being best friends with both titles.
Okay. Yeah,
don't
but what
wanna
if they
see that.
both lose at Mania and then they become a tag team after Mania?
No, I don't want them to be. Well, if they're a heel tag team, yeah, I'm for it.
Yeah. Yeah, they could be a heel tag team. They've been on again, off again, like Ross and Rachel for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. After that, we had Drew versus Cedric and Shelton. And I said in this one, at least McIntyre is selling for the first time in his career. And Cedric did a full-on flip for the Claymore that was pretty fucking dope. But obviously Drew won. No one thought he wasn't going to win. But there was a while where he started actually selling for the first time ever to make it look like it was going to be hard for him to win. So at least there was that. It gave me some hope.
See, and then to me, with McIntyre winning that damn match, is they just made the Hurt Business, and to me, they took a dump on the WWE, the Raw tag titles at the same time because they were just champions.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, they're just losing like crazy now. They're just worthless. They ought to join Retribution. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mention this earlier about the Braun and Elias stuff. Right before that match, there was a really bad promo with Braun, Shane, and Elias. All three of them sounded so dumb in the whole thing. So it was really crazy. I think that's what stood out for me when Braun comes out after the match and cuts a badass promo, because I was all like, whoa, just a minute ago I thought you were dumb. Yeah, it was way better. But yeah, and then we're just leading to Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre, which, whatever. Bobby has to fucking win that match, dude. I'm telling you.
Well,
Go ahead.
to me, there's two things I want to see. First and foremost, yes, I want Bobby to win that match.
Mhm.
But if he doesn't win, The crowd better boo.
Yes. Yes. I want the crowd to boo him so bad.
Yeah.
So bad he has to write a whole nother fucking book about it.
Yeah, it's gonna be like when they booed Ronda and she almost cracked.
Yeah, when Ronda was crying. That's what I want from Drew. I want him holding the
felt
title,
bad.
just crying, confused. Then he writes a book about, when the chosen one cries.
Yeah, you
When
don't
the
realize
universe
it.
turns on you for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys at
Finding my
home-
place in the universe. New book. What was that, producer?
You guys at home didn't realize it, but at Royal Rumble we were live, like second row, and it was to the point where you couldn't hear Rhonda because of how loud the boos were, and you just kind of saw her lower lip shaking, and man, I kind of felt bad for her.
Felt so bad for Ronda during that because I was all like, we were booing at first, but I was like, guys, this is a bit much. Like, she doesn't deserve this. What's going on? Like, I was like, it was all good for the fun and games of booing her because we like Becky, but like, fuck, guys, taking it too far. Remember that? That's what I want for
Oh
Drew,
yeah,
100%.
yeah. But you won't stop when his bottom lip starts to quiver.
He's turn
Lay
it
it
up.
on thicker.
Yep. Keep it going, guys. We're just getting started. Yeah, if you thought that was bad, buckle up. That brings us to Randy Orton and Alexa Bliss. You ready for that one?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
So Alexa Bliss comes out. She poses like Randy Orton. So good. I mean, it starts off with Randy Orton coming out, and he immediately starts coughing up that motor oil, Sharpie, marker stuff. I think the dude chews on markers. I think that's what's happening. It's upsetting his stomach. He spittles it up. We've all been there. We've all chewed on markers till we spit it up, and we've all sharded our pants at work. What? 2 hours in. Oh,
Yeah.
I do like that when Alexa came out, she did the pose. She did the old Randy Orton pose with the arms and everything. I thought that was really funny. So they're doing this whole thing, and it's this real methodical thing. They're doing laps. Special effects are happening. There's an explosion in the middle of the ring that nearly blows up Randy's face. The ref immediately dives out like, fuck this. They're doing this whole, like, walking around the ring thing with no train noises. She looks up at the rafters, and a light fixture nearly falls on Randy, and he goes, "Are you trying to kill me?" And she's all like, "Whatever, bitch." Gets back in the ring.
You have the worst Alexa impression.
That was a pretty good Alexa impression. Whatever. Bup. What up?
She's not Woody Woodpecker.
Kinda. Just a little bit. So they go into the ring. She ends up sitting on the top turnbuckle like she's been prone to do. And she's all like, uh-oh, woo! Points to behind him.
Okay, you gotta stop making her sound like a clown.
What? That's what she's doing. And then from beneath the ring comes a paw. A mangled paw. Which grabs Randy by the ankle. Randy jumps back. And then this melted version, this standing melted. Remember when we had so many Ahmed Johnson figures that we strapped a bunch of black cats around him and tried to blow it up?
Yes.
Yeah, I knew you'd remember that. But the difference is that Ahmed Johnson figure, much different than the man himself, was impermeable to everything. The man couldn't stay undamaged. What?
Those damn toys were indestructible.
You could not destroy this toy. You couldn't set it on fire. Nothing would ever go wrong with it. Meanwhile, in ring, every time Ahmed Johnson steps between the ropes, his leg would immediately fall off. Or his arm would explode and burst into flames. The dude could not keep his fucking body together. But that action figure was destined for life.
Dude,
So-
you know what? We probably had the Ahmed Johnson voodoo doll.
Mm-hmm.
We fucked his career.
That's actually true. Because we kept blowing it up and then you'd be injured again for a while.
Yeah.
So you see what appears to be a melted version of Bray Wyatt, hair all matted and burnt up, much like my hair was before.
Yeah, you did almost set your hair
Yeah,
on
my hair
fire.
got set on fire in a booby trap from producer.
It was not my fault. Your hair was so long.
Did she have an
did that.
Alexa flamethrower?
No, I had a regular candle in the
Fireball thrower?
bathroom.
Her eyes were white with just little black
I
pupils.
had a regular candle in the bathroom that you decided to dunk your hair, your long hair that's longer than mine.
She had like
into
deep
the
sunken
candle.
eyes, pale face.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
moving on.
Did she yell Hadouken?
Hadouken! Grim Reaper does say, anyone notice how the referee appeared for the 3 count and disappeared right after? Yeah, he just kept going in and out. He was like fucking not trying to be a part of this shit, which I thought was great. Added to the terror of Melted Fiend. So we get this melted candle version of the Fiend.
Yep.
Alexa jumps off the top, drop kicks Randy into Fiend's arms, where he cradles him, gives him a little lick of the forehead, and Sister Abigail's him. And then Alexa Bliss skirts over, straddles Randy Orton, squats right up on top of him, gets the 3 count, and sits there and giggles. Fucking nuts. What do you think about this?
It was great. Everything about it was great. I made the boys leave the room when Alexa got on top of Randy.
You're like, that's enough,
Didn't know
guys.
where it was
It's a
going.
3 count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to bed. Go to bed.
Go to bed. It was a 3 count. It's over.
Yeah, it's over. A little confused what was going on there, but whatever. I know the internet community blew up on it.
They fucking loved that bit, and it was really like, you know what it was to me is it was just an expose of how young the internet wrestling community is. We all talk about it and
Yeah.
stuff, and we make fun of it and we get confused by it, but when we step back and realize they're all teenagers, like the vast majority of people on Twitter, especially the wrestling Twitter, are teenagers, you go, oh, all this makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah, I think I mentioned that to you, where I was like, oh, this sounds like a kid. And you look it up. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
well-
I was right.
Well, yeah, because I told producer when we first got the Twitter account, I was like, "Well, just know it's for kids." She's like, "What?" And I was like, "Just don't take anything seriously on there because it's for children. It's only children on Twitter." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And then after like a few months, she's like, "I think it really is a bunch of children." I was like, "Yeah. Don't take Twitter seriously. It is for children." And then what was it? One of the guys who has a ton of followers, like, just looking. I just want to know how old all my followers are. And I was like, "Oh, this will be neat." I popped it open and was just reading through the comments, and every single age in there started with a 1. And then whenever there was like 1 or 2 that was all like 20, the dude would respond with "nice." And I was like, "Fuck, shut up, idiot."
Yo,
But-
fuck, get out of here. You're too old
Yeah.
to be my fans.
Yeah, 100%. And I was like, well, no wonder we're not very popular on Twitter. We make sense and we're adults. People go to watch us and they go, "Oh, this old guy's making sense. Let's get out of here."
Although, I mean, Justin has way more followers. He has more than double followers we have.
Good point. Justin is the Pied Piper of children on the Twitter community.
I like how he was
I was kidding.
excited about getting to 1,000, and I said, "Oh, fancy," because
Yeah.
we're like not even at
Yeah,
500.
Justin's all like, "Oh, I'm like a couple away from 1,000," and we're all like, "We don't even have 300."
We're at 400 and change.
We got 400 and change.
When I say we, I mean me,
Oh, because the show happens without us.
because the social media happens with me, so
Oh, because you're the whole show.
part of it.
Yeah, we all know what part. Welcome to episode 1.
You know what? I'm gonna end the stream right now.
All right. Everyone back on track. Everybody calm down. What do you think about the new look of the Fiend? Because a lot of people on Twitter are talking about that too. Some people are saying he looks like Swamp Thing. People are saying he looks stupid. Other people are saying like this is incredible. This is amazing. What do you think about this new Melted Fiend look?
I get where they're coming from, where, obviously he was set on fire.
Yeah.
But I it's creepy, but I don't know about the whole melted look.
All right. You know what I was thinking? When the Fiend first started wrestling and it was always in the red light, everyone was like, "What the fuck is this about?" The red light makes perfect sense right now. if they had not started with the red light and they had saved it for this, because then it's like, of course, a melted, disfigured Fiend doesn't want to be seen in the bright lights. Of course, he's going to wrestle in a red light. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get where you're trying to come from.
Yeah,
I love that it started with Alexa and the purple light. I was like, oh, I could be into this.
Yeah, the Alexa purple light, the Alexa's music. I think a lot of the presentation was really cool. It's really neat. I do understand people who don't like it because it is not traditional wrestling by any means. But I do think it's really fascinating and really cool. And I think the performances are top notch in what's going on in this storyline.
Yeah.
I personally love the look of the new Melted Fiend. I think it's crazy. It's fucking nuts because he's all fucking burnt up. And we watched, it wasn't like he just got set on fire and disappeared. We watched that body burn for like the last 6 minutes of the pay-per-view. Where we're all sitting there going like, it's still just fucking burning. Like, it was insane. So if it came back and the mask wasn't disfigured, it would have been weird, you know?
Well, I think the mask being disfigured is fine. I think the arm and stuff like that being all melty is what kind of throws me off.
Yeah, that was nuts, dude. A Freddy Krueger shit on his arm. I saw that in one of the nicer pictures. The other thing I saw that was really weird to me, the weirdest part of it is like the neck area. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah.
If you didn't, I'll send you some pictures where it was almost like old man, leathery, droopy, kind of flappy throat looking thing where like the mask just like melted down to his chest and it was like wrinkly. Like when Fat Bastard lost all that weight and he's like playing with his fuck. Like it could look kind of like that. You know what I mean? And at first I was all like, ugh. It made him look like he's gained so much weight and became old. And I was all like, oh, wait a second. Old people are what happens when young people are set on fire forever by the sun. That makes sense. It's just quick aging.
They turn into a scrotum.
Yeah.
Actually, that just reminded me that I saw somewhere on Twitter where people were saying, hey, man, we don't all have to fat shame Bray Wyatt, you know, he's a great wrestler. And I was like, fat shaming? What is this about? So maybe that's where people were getting it from. I didn't even think about that.
That could be. It could be because the way the neck was, it just dropped down. And it's not his actual throat. I mean, if you guys think it's his throat, I mean, fuck, I don't know how to help you with that. Clearly his mask was going down. So it made his neck look thicker and weirder. So maybe that's what that is, but just, Oh, yeah, Grim Reaper says his neck looks like a vagina, and I agree. Grim Reaper's been on our show before, and it's... What's up?
That's exactly what Fat Bastard said.
Well, there's that, but there's also, you know... He's also just doing that. He's just saying it because it is what it is, you know what I mean? But, okay, so then on Friday, or on Monday, the next day, yesterday, all days, every day. If you're listening to this on Wednesday, it was on Monday. There was a part in the Raw that had a Alexa and Fiend video package where they kind of go over everything that was pretty fucking sick. Then a little bit later on, they show Alexa doing a video promo that was creepy as fuck, where she's in the playground. And this one to me was like top notch. She was doing stuff, laughing, getting serious, turning her head back, laughing, getting serious. Like she was schizophrenic in a sense. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking crazy. And her eyes, the way they're doing her eye makeup now, her face is totally pale and it has like this deep black owl-like sunken eyeball look. You know what was it? Who is it you said it reminded you of?
Oh, was it the
MoMA?
Momo?
Yeah. It's
the
just
Momo
fucking,
challenge or whatever.
Yeah, the Momo challenge. I sent out a tweet with a picture of Rhea Ripley coming out on Raw where she had that weird creepy face on it. And I was like, is that Alexa Bliss on Rhea's pants?
I thought that was Momo or whatever the fuck it's called on Rhea's pants.
Well, that's what producer said. She goes, "Wait, is that Momo?" Like it was just this weird, like Momo-headed presence.
Yeah.
What do you think about that promo before we talk about the last segment on Raw?
That was great. I loved it.
Good.
I love how dramatic they make these promos, and like I said, I try to watch everything like I'm watching for the first time, just because I didn't grow up watching. So sometimes it is like that for me. And I love that I could watch it and just be like, oh, I get this story. This is weird and creepy as hell. And what is this about?
Yeah.
So I like when I can understand something in more or less than, one take.
Yeah, that's true. I also think her contacts are getting better too, because like you're seeing less and less of like the contact on it, and it's just becoming more and more just pure white, and it's fucking crazy. Let's see on the very end, but
Real quick, I did want to say Alexa's dress that was kind of like this shiny material, shiny black thing. It reminded me of like an apron. And the way that Fiend looked all mangled up, it reminded me of Leatherface. So I was like, are they both trying to go for Leatherface? I thought that was really cool.
yeah, did you ever watch the Leatherface movies?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, I can kind of see that.
I'm looking at the pictures of him right now, and it's all like a leather kind of brown apron he's got on. Well, I thought you told me it was like a black rubber.
No, Alexa's.
The design of her gown of her dress looks like an apron.
All right, I hear you. I was gonna try and get a picture comparison, and now I feel like I'm gonna have a hard time with that. What's this drawing? It's a drawing. I'm just Googling things, man.
Stop it. What are you, clump?
Well, yeah. Well, then on the last segment of the night on Raw, we had RKO coming out. That's Randy Orton, for those who are new. Alexa on the Fiend. Alexa and the Fiend, came out with the Fiend in a box. The little doop boop doop boop doop boop 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 boop. It's not a Jack in a Box, because when it went boop 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 boop, a little Fiend came out.
Something came out. I don't know what the fuck that was.
It was a little Fiend, dude. It had a little white face, a little yarny hair. I know a little Fiend gimmick when I see it. And I was like, oh, look at that little Fiend in a box. RKO's coming out there with a sack of something in a little black baggy thing. Puts it in the corner. Turns out, because she goes out and like she's laughing or something. I don't even know if she said a couple things. Then the Fiend shows up again. Did he come out from under the ring or just show up in the ring? It was just lights out and then he's in the ring, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
So he's just standing there. RKO goes back over. That's Randy Orton, for those that are new. Goes back to the corner. Removes the sack off this thing he brought in. Just throws the sack to the side. And it's a gas can. Big old gas can. And he starts spurting all over Bray Wyatt. Just spurt. Just skeeting on him.
Skeet.
Just from the window to the wall. Just. Just. What? I'm just describing what happened. People watch the show to know what happened.
There's the sound effects that they added to it.
Just on all over Fiend, right? So then he goes back over. Randy starts like wiping his hands clean, because clearly he's got stuff all over his hands. Why wouldn't he? So he's trying to clean his hands off. Just a mess of, And then what? I'm just describing what happened. So then Randy makes a run for Bray Wyatt one more time. Boom, mandible claw, Sister Abigail, Alexa laughing, Mania point, fire. What'd you think?
Well, there was an RKO in there as well.
Oh yeah, there was an RKO in there.
Yeah.
Right.
Looked like Randy was about to start the Fiend on fire, and then that's when Alexa stepped in, right?
Yeah. She did such an awesome job too of like going partway into the ring and having like one leg out, and I don't know, man, it looks so good.
Yeah. But yeah, it was great. Finished the show off like you said, pointed at WrestleMania sign. They're gonna have it. I just didn't like that earlier in the show. They said that they were gonna announce matches for the show, and nothing came out storyline wise. They just, the matches were announced through storyline.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, why didn't you guys just keep your mouth shut on that and don't say, hey, we're gonna be announcing? I think they said 2 shows on Saturday, or 2 matches on Saturday and 2 matches on Sunday. And then, like I said, storyline went through, and Bad Bunny and Miz and Randy Orton and Fiend.
Yeah, but those were more. So by the end of the night, they had announced 6 matches. Where they announced they were going to announce 4, or which nights those matches were going to be on. And it was more or less just they were trying to say that the matches that you already know, we're going to tell you what nights they're going to be on, and then they just added more matches. So I thought it worked out okay, but I hear you. Sometimes they could just shut the fuck up about it. Let's talk main event and Fastlane, and then we'll get into. Well, I guess. Do you think there's going to be? I mean, so WrestleMania is the first WrestleMania with fans in what seems to be 10 years or so. Do you think that Fiend and Randy Orton will be in the ring in front of fans, or do you think they'll do a cinematic thing and just have everyone sit down and shut the fuck up for a while?
See, I don't know. I wanted to be cinematic because I'm liking these matches more and more. But if I was at the stadium, I'd be pissed.
What if they put a little screen in each pod? What if each pod had a little screen in it? Wouldn't that be neat?
I think people would be very pissed if they just got more screen when they came to see live action. So I also feel like there could be so much more on the theatric side that they have planned for the Fiend that we haven't even seen. I wouldn't be shocked if they are saving it for a big moment.
What's a bigger moment than Mania?
No, that's what I'm saying. To have live action, to have Fiend at Mania.
Yeah. I hope they don't do some bullshit like the haunted house. You know what I mean? Like, I hope they don't try to do something that's all like... Yeah. Where it ends in the ring, but it starts on TV. You know what I mean?
I mean, we could see a really creepy horror funhouse. Horror-style funhouse.
Yeah, that's what we just said. But how would you do that with in front of fans? That'd have to be cinematic, wouldn't it? That's what I'm saying. I'm afraid of that mix. Because they did one before. Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton, actually, the two of them, were in the it wasn't the haunted house. What do they call it? Funhouse. No, it wasn't Funhouse. What do they call it, Kev?
I can't remember. I had it on the tip of my
House
tongue.
of Horrors.
House of
Horrors. It was the House of
go.
Horrors match. And it was this match that had to start off in a weird Bray Wyatt House of Horror match. A house filled with horrors. And it had to end in the ring. And by the time they both get to the ring, Jinder Mahal's been waiting all along. You know what I mean? That's what I don't want.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Lunar says House of Horrors. No horror goes unturned with Lunar. Grim says there could be a hybrid, start in the ring, then cut to the Firefly Funhouse. I think you could do both. Maybe that's just it. Maybe you start in the ring and you have like a laugh with the lights go out and then they're gone and then it is on screen. Maybe you go the opposite direction with it. You know what I mean? I could see that. I don't know what they're going to do. Lunar says they should do an empty arena match. Actually, they should. That'd be great if they did an empty arena match for Mania. So I don't know what they're going to do with it, but I am really curious. I'm really excited about it. And I don't think whatever they do can go wrong, but they've proven us wrong before, so we'll find out.
On a couple occasions.
Yeah. Let's see. So the last match on Fastlane was the Universal Championship match. Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan. Special guest enforcer, Edge. This match was fucking incredible, was it not?
Yeah, it was awesome. I like how it started out. It reminded me of like Bret Hart and Undertaker, where Daniel Bryan's like kind of chipping away at him and trying to out wrestle him and outmaneuver him. Very technical.
Yep. And for a period of time, Roman was trying to technical wrestle Daniel Bryan to be like, I can do what you do, but then he keeps getting bested, and after a while he goes, all right, fuck it, I'm just gonna kick the shit out of you, dude, and then starts like power moving him.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there was definitely a point there where it's all like Roman's like, oh, I can toe to toe with you, you little man. You think you're so good? You ain't shit. And then Daniel Bryan's all like, but I'll twist you up, you little fuck. And all of a sudden Roman's like, shit. Oh, shit. So he has to start like power bombing him and shit. I thought it was so dope. And the whole time I kept going, I was thinking Edge was going to be a mechanism to bring back the Usos, that Jimmy was going to come in, that Jay was going to come out, Edge was going to do something to stop Jay, and while Jay was distracting Edge, Jimmy would come around and do something. And I thought that that's where we were going. That's not what happened at all.
Nope.
At one point, Daniel Bryan flying knees, poor referee in the face, knocks him out dead for the rest of the night. We never see him again. It's a hell of a knee, just caved in his face. But then Edge gets involved. Everyone starts smacking each other with chairs. They're going nuts. Eventually, the old LaBelle lock, the yes lock, put on Roman Reigns by Daniel Bryan. Roman Reigns start tapping just a little bit with his fingertips. Now people are all trying to figure out, was he tapping? Was he not? Was he struggling to grab Daniel Bryan's hand? Was he just shaking? Was it actually a tap? And I think that's exactly what they wanted. They wanted to have a disputable tap out. Because he was like this defeated Roman, like just tapping barely with his fingertips. Like, I can't believe I'm going to tap it, but I'm doing it. And just like this, barely doing it because he doesn't even want to do it. I think they wanted the controversy of did he or didn't he. What do you think about this, Kev?
I love, the whole match I loved. One of my buddies texted me and before, because I wasn't watching it live, and said, did Daniel Bryan win the championship? And I was like, oh shit, I don't think so. I don't know. I didn't watch it yet. And I was like, a match I think I was watching the match before, I think, when he texted me that. So the whole time I'm watching this match, I was like, shit, does Daniel Bryan win? And then it's like, oh, he's going to, and stuff like that. So, I was even more invested in it because I thought Daniel Bryan was going to win. But like you said with the tap, I think that's exactly what they wanted. They wanted this disputable tap where Daniel Bryan's, on Friday going to be like, hey, I should have won, this and that. And, they're creating storyline with it, creating some controversy with it. I don't know if it's going to go as far as to adding Daniel Bryan to the Mania match, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm interested. I liked it.
So here's the options that I've thought up in my own head, vacant of the internet and no outside influences whatsoever. I saw someone tweet something similar, and I was like, I don't know. So they could add him as a three-way. A lot of people have been saying that. Do a triple threat. Yeah. They also could do 2 nights with the Universal Championship. Night 1 could be Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns. Night 2 could be Edge and whoever wins that one-on-one.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not against either one, to be honest. As much as I keep thinking like, oh yeah, Edge versus Roman one-on-one sounds amazing, it also just, I mean, if I were to pull back a little bit, does it sound amazing or does it sound good? Because it sounds good, but how invested am I in Edge versus Roman versus, or if you throw in Daniel Bryan? I felt like when it happened, during the watch along, during the drink along, I even said, this makes me more excited about this story moving forward. Where before I thought, win-win, both matches sound pretty good to me. This one I thought, oh shit, this sounds like it could be a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah. Well, and, like I said, when my buddy texted me asking if Daniel Bryan won, because, going into it, I was like, oh, he has no shot. It's just a match to get to Mania with Roman and Edge. But I started thinking, I'm like, damn, you know what? I think I would prefer seeing Edge versus Daniel Bryan than I would Edge versus Roman.
Yeah, I started going back and forth. What do I want to see more of? Do I want to see more Roman and Daniel Bryan? Because this is incredible. Do I want to see Daniel Bryan and Edge? Because there's no way that's not incredible. Do I really want to see Edge versus Roman? Because those guys tell amazing stories. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
And we even talked about it. If you go and listen to Terrible Wrestling Takes podcast, find the episode that we just did for Saturday where we talk about SmackDown. We went on for a while about how incredible Edge was selling his ribs and his midsection. And how a lot of people don't sell the midsection very well. They sell it pretty phony, but he was selling it so legit. Fucking Roman Reigns has a spear. That's his big move. A spear! A spear! 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 Spear!
Yeah.
So the idea of someone who can sell a midsection really well sounds really enticing there. Grim Reaper says, say Roman would need to main event both nights then. Roman would beat Daniel Bryan and then lose to Edge. I'm not saying that wouldn't happen. But I'm saying there would be a shadow of a doubt, right? Does Roman main event both nights or does he main event one night? And let's say Daniel Bryan versus Roman, night one, Daniel Bryan wins. What's the character Roman going to say about main eventing one night and not both nights? How furious is that character going to get? How much revenge does he need now? You know what I mean? Like, I think there's places to go with it, but I don't disagree necessarily either. Get Roman on both nights doesn't sound like a bad deal to me. He is the single most talked about person right now in WWE, if you ask me, as far as I can tell. What they're doing is incredible.
Yeah. And out of the two options that you said, I think I would prefer the Universal title on both nights instead of a triple threat.
Right? That's kind of what I
think. Because I don't want, for let's say Edge gets the title, I don't want Edge pinning Daniel Bryan.
Right. I don't want it to be that transparent either, because it's been one of our big complaints about their creative as of late. Is a lot of it's been far too transparent. I mean, that's 90% of the problem with Sasha and Bianca. It's been transparent from the get-go. We're gonna tag. Oh, for fuck's sake! I know where this is going. Oh my God, they're gonna have a match at Fastlane for the titles. Oh, for fuck's sake! So they cannot win and get mad at each other. It's too transparent. And I agree with the triple threat. If Daniel Bryan takes the pin, so Edge can get the win, then that is fucking way transparent and stupid. So,
yeah.
Well, maybe not stupid, but just overly transparent. But you know what I mean? I agree with you there. Edge was doing some heelish shit here, hitting people with chairs and then walking out, saying, fuck these guys, fuck every one of you, and storming out. Do you think Edge comes into this turning a lot more heel on this?
I don't know. I think it's just, like, I kind of want to see it, but then that just makes me want to see Daniel Bryan and Edge more. Yeah. I thought it was just showing Edge. Yeah. And I was thinking it was just showing an edgy side of Edge, if you will. Just, fuck this. I'm pissed off with this shit, Like, and he was like literally pulling his hair out and stuff. But I don't know, because I was even thinking, like, after Edge hit everyone with the chair and everyone was dead in the ring, I almost wanted him to put Daniel Bryan over Roman and then get 3 and then, be yelling, is this what you wanted? Is this what you wanted? Yeah. But
well, and Edge was yelling, this is my time, this is me, it's supposed to be about me. And getting mad at them, and you're all like, what the fuck is this about? So, I don't know. I think it's incredible. I can't wait to see what happens on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And I think that, I know Bishop was saying on that show that we did on Saturday that he did not like the Edge promos on SmackDown because it was way too babyface. Oh, I've been in SmackDown in a long time. Oh, been 10 years. Oh, I did this. Oh, I beat Undertaker. He said he felt like it was way babyface. I wonder now in retrospect if he thinks about how babyface he was coming off versus doing all this shit, if it makes this seem even that much more out of the blue. You know what I mean? Because that might be exactly what they were setting up. Good guy Edge being a dick. So that was Fastlane overall. What do you think of Fastlane? I thought it was tremendous matches top to bottom. with a lot of wonky storytelling as we got through there.
Yeah. I, you mentioned it earlier with the first match. It's going to foreshadow the rest of the night, and I don't think it did. Storyline wise, I think it did, but match wise, I think the matches were great throughout the night.
Yeah. Really good stuff.
Mm.
Well, let's just recap the stuff on Raw that we didn't quite get to. Let's see. This is only going to take a little bit because there's not a ton that didn't come through. You ready to talk about some of that or no?
Yeah, like Mizzy drip and whatever MIZ.
Well, we'll get to the dripping issue. Let's see. We did have an Asuka match, which I thought was great. I made a note here. Charlotte Flair being out has done wonders for the Raw division already. Asuka finally gets a fucking singles match. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not trying to push Charlotte as bigger than everything you have in the entire division, then wow, your title gets a chance to shine. So here we had Asuka versus Peyton Royce. Peyton came out way fucking serious and grumpy looking. Didn't do any dancing. No weird gimmicky entrance. Yeah, I did like that. Yeah. Producer said immediately, she goes, "Oh, is she not a stripper anymore?" And I was like, "Come on." Like, I hear you, but come on. Like, and they were showing a replay of the Peyton Royce Raw Talk promo where she was all like, "My potential haunts me," and everyone went like, "Oh God, oh, give her a match against Asuka." So they said, "You get what you ask for," and then we got this match. I felt like A, it was good to get it out of the way. B, before I say anything else, Asuka won this match. What did you think about the match itself?
I mean, I thought it was an all right match. The potential of Peyton Royce, I don't think I've ever seen it. So,
this match was not smooth.
Yeah.
There was a lot of weirdness, a lot of misfires.
Yeah.
This felt clunky.
The one that sticks out to my mind is when Asuka does that like butt bounce on the ropes, and then Peyton just like rips her down.
Yeah,
it was like that was the one that sticks out the worst to me.
There was a lot of stuff in there where I kept going like, "What the fuck are they doing?" Like I couldn't even figure, and I was like, "Well, I guess it's kind of like a struggle if no one can get anything to work right." But there was a moment that I went ahead and even messaged out, and I was all like, "Oh, is Peyton Royce stealing our gimmick where every match is her first match because she can't quite figure it out?" I saw someone else online say, "I didn't think you could have a bad match with Asuka. Today I've learned something, This wasn't good, and it was weird, and it was like one of those times where it's all like, you have this fiery promo that people get behind, but this was your moment. Yeah, this was your moment to back it up, and I really don't think that people were impressed. And I also think everybody gets off nights. I'm not trying to come here and say Peyton Royce is no good and didn't deserve that title shot. I felt like this match fell flat, and I felt like that's a really unfortunate thing given the amount of hype that was behind this match, which at the end of the day was not a lot of hype. So if you buckle under that level of pressure, it really makes you wonder about, as much as we all want to say we know better than the companies and we all want to pretend that we know who's underutilized and we know who's underrated, we know who the company needs to get behind, we don't see shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seeing this match play out the way that it did made me go, "Oh, did they know that all along? And that's why it's been this way?" You know what I mean? Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I go back and forth with, you hear about the, people sabotaging matches type of thing. Yeah. And like you said, did they purposely put this together to say, you know, hey, this is the outcome we knew that was going to happen. You know, and I just don't know if, yeah, I just don't know if it, I don't know what they would gain from it, is what I'm trying to say on that.
Okay. So I think that there's a possibility of, here's your shot, kid. You know what I mean? We don't see it, but the audience wants to see it. Here's your chance to shut us up and for us to lean into what the audience sees and us to see you in a whole different light. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a possibility of that. And I think at the end of the day, if that was the tone, then I think we may have just seen the last Peyton Royce match for a very long time.
Yeah.
If this match was meant to impress, I think that there's a very good reason why that match was done on a Raw and moved along. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I feel bad saying that, man. I don't, you know how I am. I always talk about it before the show. Let's not just knock on people, and I'm not trying to knock on Peyton Royce. I did think that promo was dope. I was excited about the concept of this match. I've heard everything that Bayley said about her. Bayley said that wrestling Peyton Royce is to her as much as like wrestling Sasha Banks. I'm like, oh shit, there's something there. I wasn't hoping this match would be bad by any means. I was looking forward to it, and that's why I was watching it intently. And then as it kept going on, I was like, what the fuck is happening? And I started to feel really bad. I think that's where I'm coming from, is I felt bad. I felt bad because I felt like this was really your chance to shut up a lot of critics and to really shine.
And you proved them right.
Nothing. Yeah, you just fucking made everyone sound... made your critics sound right, and you made your supporters sound goofy.
Stupid.
You know? Stupid. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just it was tough. It was tough to watch in that regard. Like it was an okay match, but there was so much sloppy stuff that by the end of it you just went, "What's the hype here?" And like you said, I failed to see what's going. I failed to see it, is what you said. And it's like, and no one can point to that match and say, "Do you see it now?" Because you go, "No, do you see it now?" Like,
yeah.
Well, after that match, Rhea Ripley comes out, tells Asuka that she better fucking answer her question straight up. I challenge you to WrestleMania. And Asuka goes, whoa, okay. I was like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah, I was annoyed by that. I know everyone's excited about it, and I'm excited that Rhea's there, or, you know, on Raw. I just think this should have been a surprise thing. This came out of the blue instead of announcing, Rhea's coming this Monday. She comes and I am challenging you. Okay. It was like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, if
you
would
coming,
have had,
I'm expecting a match.
Yeah. And if you had, you know, just Peyton and Asuka go, you know, it's like, all right, whatever. We're watching because of the Peyton promo and stuff like that. At the end, okay, it's over. Then we start thinking, well, then what's Asuka gonna do for Mania? And then Rhea Ripley's music hits without any, you know, announcement. People would have lost their shit.
Yeah.
And then to me, with this as well, one of the bigger reasons why I got annoyed with it is Rhea comes in, says, hey, I'm challenging you to WrestleMania. Asuka agrees. To me, it shits on everyone else in the Raw women's division. That literally all you had to do was ask for a fucking title shot, and you would have gotten it. And you look at the Naomi's, the Natalia's, just all of them. Even Shayna.
Yep.
You know, all you had to do was ask, and you would have got it. And no one asked.
No, Mandy and Dana and Charlotte, all three asked. They all said, oh, I want that title. I want to go for the Raw Women's title at WrestleMania. They all three said it. And that's when Charlotte came out and tells Mandy and Dana, well, you guys better prove it to me. Like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
But
I
then
forgot
here comes
about
Rhea,
that,
where
but
she goes, "I want a match at WrestleMania," and just gets it. Rhea has
Yeah.
been on the roster for maybe 3 weeks. She had 0 matches on Raw. She has never wrestled on Raw or SmackDown. This will be her second one-on-one match for a title at WrestleMania. Do you know how many one-on-one title matches Bayley has for the world title?
None.
For Mania? 0.
Yeah.
Charlotte? 0.
75. Yeah.
Becky? 0. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
why is Rhea getting this treatment when we don't have anything from a fan standpoint, from a viewer of your weekly TV show, to understand why? I mean, I'll give you this. It definitely puts her in a big light and gives her a big spotlight. And people go, oh, she's a big deal. She must be a big deal.
Yeah.
But we've been
And I'm
watching
not taking
people.
any.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm not taking anything away from Rhea. Like, she is great. She is good. I'm glad she's on the main roster. You know, but she was literally on TV for 30 seconds and she gets a title shot.
Yeah. What did Shayna have to do to get her title shot last year?
I don't remember.
She ate Becky Lynch's neck out, and then
Oh, yeah.
she destroyed every single person in the roster one at a time through the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
Shayna had to prove that she was so dominant, she was undeniable, and deserved this title shot. Rhea literally came out and, quote, "ask and you shall receive." This felt so lazy and stupid. And that's what I mean. This was the moment that I thought, oh, the wrong person won the Rumble. Rhea should have won the Rumble, because then she could just come out and say, "I want you, Asuka." And Asuka could say, "Let's do it." And in the meantime, on SmackDown, you've been having this overwhelming story of Sasha Banks trying to mentor Bianca and her not having it. And that team just falls apart, and that's it. They're going one-on-one. Could have still
Yeah,
gone.
you would have had a similar Miz and Daniel Bryan thing.
100%.
It would have been okay.
It would have been fine.
You know? Yeah.
But here we are, where Rhea just shows up and gets another one-on-one for a title match. Which, what has she done to deserve it? Even if you watch NXT, I like to watch Raw and SmackDown like I don't watch NXT. But let's say you did watch NXT. She lost the NXT title last year at WrestleMania and never got it back. She lost a bunch of matches on the way after then. She hasn't really won a match in a long time. She comes to Raw, hasn't won a match, and then she just gets a fucking title. She lost the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
The fuck has she done to deserve this? And again, this is not a knock on Rhea or a knock on the concept of Rhea versus Asuka. That match sounds incredible on paper and will be incredible in the ring. But from a story perspective and a give a shit perspective, why the fuck should I care at all? And who the fuck are you? Why should I be more excited that Rhea gets a match versus Asuka and Bayley sits out for Mania?
Yeah.
And here's the other thing, because we've talked about it before. Drew McIntyre is a pity case. It's a whole poor Drew McIntyre. Poor McIntyre for winning the title and holding it for almost a year with no fans.
Yeah.
Where's the pity parade for Bayley? Bayley and Sasha went to every single show. Drew McIntyre came out once a week, beat up his fucking friend after he got fired. And I'm supposed to sit here and think, oh, right? You got fired. Come back and let me just beat the shit out of you for no reason. The fuck? So you want me to feel bad for Drew McIntyre and say, oh, he deserves to have a title in front of fans? But I'm supposed to just say, yeah, Sasha, Bayley, fuck them. They didn't do anything during the pandemic. They literally showed up on every single show. NXT, SmackDown, Raw, carried segment after segment, match after match, made the roster look stronger, look better. And here we come to WrestleMania, and it goes, give it to the loser last year. That's all I'm saying. Like, I think Rhea versus Asuka is going to be amazing. But this is the only way we get there?
Yeah, it's an exciting match, but, you know, and we talked about it earlier with Charlotte. We realized that they kind of backed themselves into a corner. And if you would have asked me who Asuka's going to be facing at Mania this year, it had to be Shayna. She kicked her fucking tooth out.
That's true too.
Like, you know, and as many times as they replayed that, it's like, cool, okay, you know, Shayna's gonna go against Asuka, and I'm okay with that. And you know, then Rhea just comes out and just tell me straight up, you want to go? Sure. All right, we're going. Done.
Everyone in the locker room goes, damn it. You know, it like shows that clip of the people watching soccer, and like there's that moment the thing hits and the whole fucking bar just all the arms fly up and beer's going everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like the exact opposite when that happened with Rhea. The entire back just goes like, damn it.
Fuck.
All I had to do was ask. You kidding me?
Yeah.
Sort of like how Baron Corbin came out for the Intercontinental title the other week and was like, I'm just trying to figure out if I should rip up my... And then Sammy comes running out. No, he didn't say it. I accept. I said it first. It's on camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Rhea right now. Rhea is Sami Zayn. I said it first.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just a bummer because that's where we're at. But at the same time... So that's what we're seeing on TV. So we can only base things off we see on TV because we aren't insiders. We're not fake journalists. We're fake journalists. We make up shit as we go. We pretend it's fake. It's real, and that's how it goes. We have to go based off that. But if you wanted to speculate based off of what we saw, like we talked about before, if you had Lacey versus Charlotte going into Mania, Lacey gets pregnant, Charlotte gets COVID, you might call an audible. And you might suddenly just go, fuck it, put Rhea out there now, have her challenge Asuka. We got to get a card on this. We got to get a match on this card. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it could be a moment of hindsight being 2020. If they had known that Lacey and Charlotte couldn't happen, they might have said, okay, it'll be easier to get to Bianca and Sasha than it's going to be to get to Asuka and Rhea. Give Rhea the Rumble win, and we'll get the story with Bianca and Sasha, and everyone's going to be happy. I do think that there's a hindsight 2020, and I do think that Lacey getting pregnant and Charlotte getting COVID, I think fucked up a lot more than we think.
No, I do. I think so as well. But I just think with, you know, even backing yourself out of the corner, and I think you hold a number one contender, either battle royal or tournament.
Gauntlet.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot better.
Think about how badass it would have been if they had a gauntlet match for the number one contender spot. And they don't even announce who all's going to be in it. Like, we're going to go through the majority of the women's division. We're going to find out who's going to be the number one contender. First person comes out, it's fucking Mandy Rose. Second person comes out, it's Rhea Ripley. Everyone fucking blows up. Oh my god! And Rhea just tears through everybody. And then you go, yeah, Rhea's the one.
But that's once again if they didn't keep announcing Rhea's coming. But if you know, like I said, they had many different options, especially leading up to Mania, on who they could put in there, or different ways they can put her in there, I should say.
Yeah, there's different ways, but I think that maybe that would have been better. I mean, Grim Reaper says it best in the chat. This is my brutality. That's how he said it, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's all I think about the Rhea thing. I'm super excited. I think it's super dope. I think there's probably a better way to do this. It just feels like they just went, fuck it. I feel like they threw in the towel on it. Fuck it. Just send her out there. Just have the thing. If they had done next week, we're doing a number one contenders match, gauntlet style. And if Rhea came out and even cut a promo, said, I'm here to make a splash. I'm here to make I'm going to make a point. I'm getting myself to WrestleMania one way or the other. And then they left it at that. And then this week, or next week, you have a number one contender gauntlet match. And they don't announce who it's going to be. And it starts off with like Dana and Rhea or Mandy and Rhea. Rhea's number two. People would still go nuts. Fuck. They would be saying, I bet you it's going to be Rhea. I bet it's going to be Rhea. But once Rhea showed up, they said, fuck yes, it's Rhea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bruce, I know you're listening. I apologize for shitting on some of this stuff, Bruce. I'm sorry. But, you know, it's just some tips for you, Bruce. I know you're new to this.
Yeah. Well, see, and I think WWE is going to have, you know, Rhea have a couple matches leading up to WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. Or in my mind, they have to. Yeah, they can't have Rhea's first match on the main roster be a title shot. She's not Ronda Rousey. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think you know, like I said, they're probably going to have her go up against a few of the women on the roster, dominate them. It's fine. But like we said, you could have done this in a gauntlet match or a tournament.
And it'd been sick. And it would have been a huge point. With the amount of people who were talking, especially about Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa being the main event last week, imagine the amount of people were talking about if Raw had an hour and a half time dedicated to a women's gauntlet.
Yeah.
And if it was highlighting Rhea throughout the whole thing. And Rhea goes an hour. Fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would have been Kofi Mania for Rhea. That would have been fucking great.
Yeah. Rhea
But I don't
Mania.
know. Yeah. Rhea Mania. This is my brutality. There's only a couple other segments. We'll talk about it. I don't think we're going to drag on too much of this stuff, to be honest. Some of it's pretty straightforward. But one of them is, like you said, Miz TV, Mizzy Drip Drip, Johnny Morrison with the drip alert. Here we go. Drippy drip drip. Here's my notes for the segment of Miz TV and the drips. This is my notes. You ready for these notes?
Yeah.
First two words. Just garbage. And I put, and all about Bad Bunny. It went on way too long for me. Super long. And I put awful music video. Then my next note, producer loved it and was dancing.
Hey, it premieres next week. That was only a taste.
It was just a taste, and producer lady fucking loved it. She was dancing. She was laughing. She loved it. And then Miz challenged Bad Bunny for a match at Mania, which was immediately followed by Miz versus Jeff Hardy. I'll just run through this note, too. Miz wins. Bad Bunny smashes Miz with a guitar. Bunny calls Miz bitch, and he's already a better promo than Andrade. Kev, what did you think?
I took two things away from this. Miz versus Bad Bunny doesn't bother me. But what does bother me is, once again, the transparency of WWE by slapping on the 24/7 title to Bad Bunny so he can parade it around the Grammys and Saturday Night Live and then just give it up. And I thought when he gave it up, we're not going to see Bad Bunny for a while. You know, and then all of a sudden, hey, he's got a match at Mania. Oh, what the hell?
You can't take the 24/7 title to Mania, dude. That's how Gronk wins it.
But if he takes it there, that's how Miz challenges him. Hey, I'll challenge you to that. You know, before they would have matches, normal matches where the rules didn't apply for the 24/7 title.
And we hated that. But we hated that.
But it brought some legitimacy to it. Just do it.
There's no legitimacy to that title. Not at all. None. And it's totally fine. I think that transparency is obviously perfect because at the end of the day, the 24/7 title is about everything except for WWE. It's about WWE being anywhere but the show. Like, it's on the show, but the whole point of that title is to get R-Truth on ESPN. It's to get Bad Bunny at the Grammys, to get Bad Bunny at Saturday Night Live. That 24/7 title has nothing to do with Raw or SmackDown. It has everything to do with getting wrestlers on mainstream TV, but the wrestlers make cameos on wrestling TV.
Yeah. But I just don't like how he just gave it up. Like,
That was weird. That was weird where he just goes, here you go. I'll trade you for the replica title. But I'll tell you this. Yeah. If you were sitting there and you had the 24/7 title in front of you and a Smoking Skull replica title, which one are you grabbing, dude?
Was it the legit 24/7 or
Let's say it's the legit 24/7 title, which you could lose at any time, given if a referee's around, or a replica Smoking Skull belt title.
I'll probably grab I don't know.
See, it's a tough decision.
It is.
It's a tough one. That's what lets me know that Bunny made the right decision for him, because he went, you know what, this replica title is mine forever, and it's pretty fucking sick. And I can't argue with him. I cannot argue with him. Let's see.
I don't know.
Grim Reaper has a couple things to say real quick. He said, I could see Rhea face Peyton next week because Peyton will be pissed that Rhea got the title shot. I mean, it's really hard not to laugh right now reading that out loud. But I'll tell you, I could see that too. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, handle this one for me, Kev.
I can see that, but like we said, I think that was a here's your shot, kid, and she fumbled.
I 100% felt like that was a fumble. I think it might be a long time before we see Peyton Royce again. I think that was a terrible job she did, and I think that's a really unfortunate thing. I don't know what it is. It was an off night, but I don't think she's going to go out there and have a 20-minute match with Rhea. If that's what you're thinking, you're talking a squash if it happens. And then Grim Reaper just said that will build up Rhea for WrestleMania. Maybe. I think it'll be more if she takes on. I even think a match against Mandy Rose would be bigger for her. To be honest, Natty would be bigger. Naomi could be bigger, and I mean we'll talk about that in just a few minutes as well. Grim Reaper does say,
"Well, exactly. Have Rhea beating former champions in the Naomis and Natalias. Do that, but do it in the gauntlet match."
Sorry, dude. I moved a little bit. Everything got loose and just crumbled. Grim Reaper does say, well, now the 24/7 guys have an opportunity to take out Drew before WrestleMania. That's right. Bobby Lashley told all the 24/7 title holders, if you fuck Drew McIntyre, I will do a thing. And then he left, and everyone went, that sounds good. Sounds real good. Couldn't figure out what he was quite offering. I don't know how I feel about Miz versus Bunny, to be honest, other than the fact I think it's awesome for Bunny.
Yeah, I mean, dude gets to live out a childhood dream. That's awesome. Good for him.
Dude, I can't knock him. So as much as I want to be like, what the fuck? I'm also like, I don't know. For Bad Bunny, though, I mean, imagine you're Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
Like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
If I was in his shoes, hell yeah.
Yeah. So I can't hate on it at all. But part of me goes like, I may not care as it goes, but there's a really good chance I become very interested by the time the bell rings. So,
yeah.
A little tough. It does look like Damian Priest is going to be in Bunny's corner as well as Morrison will be in Miz's corner. So I do think we'll get some tomfoolery, some shit cannery, some shenanigans, tomfoolery. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I guess we'll see how it goes. But I mean, we do have a Bad Bunny versus Miz match now, which again leads me to ask, where the fuck is Bayley's match? Dude, Bayley has nothing for WrestleMania, and as much as I'm clearly a biased Bayley mark, I am a stan. Look, I got my antibacterial wipes right here, my Bayley sanitary wipes. I keep them with me on the desk at all times. At the end of the day, I do think though, like, she did so much for the company during the pandemic era. Like, how do you not find a spot for her at Mania? You know what I mean? Nothing. It's just weird. It's just weird because she carried the women's division throughout 3 different fucking shows. You know?
Yeah.
So it's just one of the things where you're like, okay, so we get Miz and Bad Bunny, but Bayley's got nothing. Like, you couldn't do nothing. So I guess we see where it goes, right? I kind of hope we get like a Bayley versus Carmella or a Bayley and Carmella for the tag titles against Shayna and Nia. Like, just something. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah. But once again, yeah, women's tag titles are frustrating.
Yeah, we're almost there. We did have before that though. AJ cut a promo with New Day, which was just so fucking funny to me, dude. It was so good.
It was good.
And AJ versus Kofi. Yeah, and AJ versus Kofi was just like, how is this match happening on just a normal Raw? This match was that match was so fucking good. And when when Xavier Woods started playing his trombone to startle AJ, he was playing AJ's entrance music from TNA. Someone pointed out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, how fucking funny is
pay
that?
attention to that. That's awesome.
So good. What do you think about all this? Because all I have to say about it all is perfect, top to bottom.
Oh yeah, it's great. This is the frustrating bit. Going back to the other stuff we just talked about, is how they can make something interesting in a short amount of time, and with these other things, they haven't done that.
That's a good point. They've made this very interesting very fast, and with a lot of things, it's not that way.
Yeah, they let their talent show it and naturally get there. And yeah, I don't know.
All right. But I am super excited for this match now. At first, I was like, okay, it'll probably be good. But after seeing this, I'm all like, fuck, yes. AJ and New Day back and forth.
Yeah.
AJ's so good. He's so fucking funny. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know a lot of people do it any better. If you have nothing else to say there's really only one other match and then one other note I had. The Sexy Muscle Friends, Dana and Mandy, against Shayna versus Nia with Naomi and Lana on commentary. I really like actually them on commentary, both Lana and Naomi, and I've been pretty harsh to Lana in the past. They both, I thought, did a very, very good job on commentary. Naomi specifically said, which I thought was really funny, that Reginald is, quote, always up in the women's business. And it says, I want a piece of Reginald. And she goes, but not in that way. And then Nia ends up getting the pin on Dana. Mandy and Dana, though, I thought were looking fucking great in this match. They looked so good, so crisp, so in tune. I was really impressed with them as a team.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, do you think this is going to lead to a triple threat at Mania between those three
triple
teams?
threat or fatal four-way. I think we could see a fourth team pop up, too, to be honest. I do think we're going to get a multi-team match.
You think that's where Bayley and Carmella slip in?
I think that there's a possibility of that, yeah. Especially given
with
that we
the
had...
Reginald tie.
Yep. With Reginald being tied into it, as well as with Sasha and Bianca being a team with matching gear, I think that there's every reason for Bayley to team up with somebody else. Mm-hmm. I know that sounds petty and dumb, but that's where my mind is.
Dumb and petty.
Yep. You know what I like. But anything else there? I mean, it's. I mean, Shayna and Nia have to be going to Mania with the titles at this point, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't see what else they're going to do with them.
Yeah. Well, the only other thing that happened on Raw that I thought was notable at all was when they were announcing all the matches on what nights they were going to be on, the graphics got all fucked up and they kept showing Bad Bunny and Miz over and over again. And so much so that Byron announced it and then started to announce the next thing, and then Tom Phillips announced it and then announced it again with graphics and then moved on to the next graphic that showed up. And I was like, fucking Christ, we've announced Bad Bunny and Miz 4 times. So fucking nuts, dude. I was like, what kind of AEW shit is this? But, I can't not razz them. But, I mean, overall, the Raw felt a little bit flat to me. Fastlane felt a little bit weird and wonky to me. But realistically, overall, if I kind of back up a little bit and look at the whole scheme of it, I'm pretty excited about most of these matches coming up. I just want to be more invested in these matches. I want to give a shit about who's about to win. Because right now, most of these matches that come up, that they're announcing, I'm feeling real 50-50 on. And I really want to get that to be at least 80-20. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, 100%. Like you said, a lot of these matches, it's like, well, if this person wins, okay, cool. If that person wins, okay, cool. Where it's like, no, I want this person to win because then we can do this and then we can do that, or they can do this with it. And they're not there on a lot of them.
Yeah.
I mean, they
Really
got
weird.
3 weeks to, hook us, but we'll see.
We shall see. Very good. Kev. I agree completely. We shall see as it happens. We're going to see how this whole thing plays out. We got just a little bit over 2 weeks, and we'll be here for all of it as we break it down every week. What's today? Tuesday. We're going to be back. So this, I mean, listen to this on podcast. It's going to be Wednesday. We'll be back to our Thursday night chaser to review Wednesday night NXT and whatever happens to pop up on my Twitter feed about AEW. Kev, I think it's last call. Are you ready for last call?
Yes, sir.
Smooth, baby. Smooth.
Cheers, guys. See you next time.
Cheers. Kev, it's good to have you back. I'm always happy to have you. Grim, thanks for hanging out in the chat on the long haul. Justin, if you're still in there, cheers. And everybody else, guys, find us at WrestlingOnTheRocks.com for all of our links, all of our contacts, at WOTR The Show for our Twitter. Kev, where can people find you?
Kevlar on the rocks with that.
Hell yeah. I am at Ref Marsh on Twitter. We are Wrestling on the Rocks. Thank you for coming through, and thank you for having a drink, guys. That's last call.
Cheers.
Hey, producer lady here. Thanks for tuning in. Continue to support us or buy us a drink by following and putting the I in subscribe on Twitch. Or subscribe and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Cheers!
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.